Sorry for texting you while you're at work, Harper. I hope this is okay right now.
You're fine right now. I'm just getting ready to have lunch and everything. What's up? You want to ask me something? I've never been asked anything by you before, Parker. You must really need my help then.
Well, I have something to ask regarding Ashley.
Ashley? Is this something about the two of you getting into a fight again?
I don't think it's gotten as far as a full-blown fight or anything.
What does that even mean? What the hell happened?
Well, I think you know that Ashley has quite a sense for a particular fashion, right?
Do you mean that she really likes wearing flashy clothing? I've always thought she looked great always dressing up that much. It matches her personality really well.
Well, I'm sure from your point of view she looks great and all. And trust me, I like the way she looks in all that clothing as well. But that kind of fashion costs a lot of money. Things are starting to become tight.
Is that so? But when I had spoken to Ashley before, she told me that you guys were doing all right and that she was fine with the clothing that she already had. I don't think she ever acted like she was always going out to buy new things all the time for herself.
Well, that's just her talking about the clothes. When you add in the cost of all the hair and skin treatments she gets, and her trips to get her nails and makeup done, it all begins to really add up. And she's also buying all these special diet kits that cost a bunch of money.
Well, it is said that us women cost a lot more money than men. How about you just accept that this is all a part of who she is? I mean, you can ask my husband and he'll tell you the same thing about how much my beauty and health products all cost.
Well, the problem is that she's spending way too much on all of this, and it's going to be a problem for me. It's because of her that every month I'm going into debt paying for other things that we need to live.
I see. That amount of spending definitely is a problem then. Although I don't think she should be going to the salon every month, right?
Well, she's different than most women. Of course, if I was making just a bit more every month, I'd be fine with her spending all she wants, but I really don't have that kind of money. I even asked her before that I want us to take a break on spending for a little while to save up money. But I can see she didn't really catch what I meant by that.
Who's the one in charge of paying the bills every month?
I've noticed that she doesn't understand how much she's spending, so I've been the one in charge of the money.
Well, if that's the case, then you should be able to control how much she's allowed to spend, right? You know, give her an allowance every month and tell her that's all she gets.
Yes, but I'm also giving her money to go out and eat and for other things in the house. But every month she's telling me that I'm not giving her enough and I end up having to give her more. I've warned her multiple times now that I can't keep giving more and more away to her. But she'll just get into these childish moods and we'll end up not even doing chores or cooking until I give her the money.
Well, that's not very good at all, huh? Wait, is Ashley working her own part-time job now as well?
Well, if she was working her own job, we wouldn't be having this problem right now. I never thought while dating her that she turned out to be this much of a spender. If this were going to be the case for us as a couple, I never would have married her.
And it's only been a year now since you two got married, right? This didn't all just happen overnight, right?
I know. I started to notice all of this about 6 months ago. Since then, I've been trying to help the situation by using some of the money from my savings account and all. But now, I don't really have any money left in my savings. So, I've had to start using multiple credit cards that I carry to be able to keep us from going under.
You've had to give up that much? You really dug yourself a hole by using up all that money as well.
Harper, I plan to stop giving her any more money. But during this time, I'd like your help dealing with her. Right now, it's just too much for only me to handle. And I really don't have any more money this month.
Do you need some money from me?
Yes, please. At least to start, can you give me $500?
$500, huh? All right, that's fine.
Really?
You're in trouble, correct? And also, it's rare that you ever come to me for anything anymore. But I'm going to have to tell my husband about this, okay? I'll have to give up some money from our account, so he needs to know or else we'll both get in trouble.
All right, you can go ahead and do that. Thank you so much, Harper. Ashley's parents aren't around anymore for me to get help from. And if I ask Mom and Dad about this, they might start to change their minds about her.
Well, you have a good point.
Mom would probably tell me to divorce her or something. And she might even take things into her own hands and confront Ashley about all of this. So I had to come to you because I know you won't act crazy about all of it.
But if Ashley continues to spend like she is now, you might actually have to start thinking about divorce, okay?
I know that, but I don't have any other complaints about her. So as long as we can fix her spending issues, she'll be perfect for me. I love spending time with her now, and her cooking is delicious. She's even really good at taking care of the chores while I'm at work, and we just mesh so well. I've really been wishing that I just made enough to allow her to spend as much as she does now. Maybe even then, she'd only begin to spend more money, and I'd be having the same problem again.
Well then, I hope you can fix this issue you both are having. I'm sure this will all be tough for you, but you have to talk with her again about this. And if she still doesn't manage to understand the problem, you might have to really think of your other options.
Yes, I know. When that time comes, I'll make sure to be prepared for it. Thank you so much. I'll make sure to keep you updated about all of this. I'm sorry, Harper. Do you think you could give me $1,000?
Wait, $1,000? Does this still have to do with Ashley? Didn't I tell you to talk with her in person last month? I said that by confronting her again about her spending would help the situation, right?
Well, I listened to what you told me back then, but it looked like she was using our credit card.
And what did Ashley end up saying?
Well, she started out by apologizing to me, but I might have been too strong in what I was saying to her, and now she's locked herself in the bedroom.
I think your best bet is to get that credit card away from her.
Yeah, and that's what I'm planning to do soon. But I'm going to have to pay off all the money she spent on that card. And this month I'm going to be $1,000 short.
All right, I'll give you the $1,000. But don't you think Ashley's acting a bit strange about all of this? Maybe you could say she's mentally ill or something like that.
Mentally ill?
Some people say that you can become addicted to spending money like that. Like a compulsive spending disorder. When you first told her to stop, she said she understood you, right? But she's still going at it right now, right? Why don't you take her to go see a therapist or someone that can check to see if she's all right? I've heard that lots of women suffer from this sort of disorder.
No. There's no way that she's sick or anything. I think I've just been a bit too easy on her. And I also think this time I've made my point. I'm sure that she'll soon be able to understand things and stop all of this nonsense.
Now it seems like you're giving in to her spending problems. You know there's something you have to do if she continues this.
Of course. I should probably start thinking about that, huh?
Or you can ask her to start working for her own money. She used to work full-time before you guys got married, right? But you guys decided to have her quit in case she got pregnant or anything like that, right? I think before you guys do anything like that, you should have her start helping with saving money, okay?
I'm really not sure what I should do right now, though. I can't just keep coming back to you for advice and money, right? I have to do something.
Hey, don't tell me that you're having to do something about this means gambling or anything like that, right?
Huh? Gambling?
Well, my husband told me recently that he saw your car parked outside a casino here in town. That you guys were there right next to it waiting in a line to get in.
Is that so?
I assume that was just my husband confusing someone else for you, and that's why I hadn't said anything. But does that seem familiar to you?
I'm sorry. There was one thing I've been hiding from you. Actually, the one gambling has been Ashley. I think when I went there to go and pick her up, your husband saw me in my car.
Ashley's gambling now as well.
Yeah.
Well, with everything else you've told me, and how her gambling as well, I think you should really start looking at other options rather than trusting that things will get better with her.
I was thinking of telling you about this, but I never could.
But the fact that she's gambling, I never even imagined a girl like her doing that sort of thing.
Well, she's not the girl most people think she is.
I know that. But I've had many times where I've talked with her. Her overspending on things and gambling really don't seem to fit her personality at all.
I was surprised by all of this as well.
Hey, I know that we'll all be meeting again at Mom and Dad soon, right? Do you think during that time we can talk with Ashley again?
Well, about that. Ashley says she doesn't want to come.
Huh? Really?
Ashley knows that I've been borrowing money from you and she doesn't want to be seen by the family right now.
Would it be wrong for me to try and text or call her?
Do you even know Ashley's number?
No, I don't, but...
Well, then I don't feel comfortable telling you that information.
Well then, could you go and ask her if it's okay for me to know her phone number or maybe even her email?
I don't think she's gonna like that.
But I'm just asking that you ask her one time and see. Please?
Alright, fine. But don't get your hopes up, okay?
I won't. I know that all of this is troubling you a lot, but you have to get this all under control. You might even have to make a choice that you've been avoiding for a long time now. Parker, where are you right now?
I'm at home. What's wrong?
Your wife just came over to our place drenched in water. What the heck is going on here? She told me that you threw water all over her, and now she's drenched head to toe in freezing cold water.
Harper, run away from her right now. She's very dangerous. You shouldn't believe anything she says to you.
Huh?
I think the reason she's so upset right now is because I've been telling you all about her bad spending habits. So I'm not sure if she's there to do anything harmful to you or not.
Well, that's not what any of this looks like to me, though.
I know that, but you just have to run from her. She was holding scissors when she came at me.
Scissors? When she arrived here, she only came with the clothes on her back. And right now, she's in the bathtub trying to warm herself up. I don't think you need to be that worried about what she's doing. Just let me take care of her now, okay?
No, I'm very worried right now, so I'll be over there in a little bit.
Do not come. I don't care how many times she had been overspending on things. You cannot just throw freezing cold water all over her. I can tell right now that you are not calm enough to come see her, right? So I'm not going to let the two of you see each other at this moment. And if you do still come, I'm not letting you in the house.
But I'm seriously worried about you and your husband.
Have you forgotten that my husband is more than capable of defending us? He's been doing martial arts for years now. He's twice the size of Ashley and probably 3 times as heavy as her. Even if she does manage to cut him, he's not going to just die.
Has Ashley said anything to you guys yet?
I haven't heard the details yet. She just came in telling me that you both got into a fight.
I see. All right. Can you tell Ashley that I'm sorry? Let her know that I want her home soon and that I'll be waiting for her.
I can tell her that. For the time being, I'll let you know if anything else happens.
Harper, the inside of my house is a bit off right now. All of Ashley's things are gone and it's just empty now. Today's the day she was supposed to be coming back, right? Did she say anything else to you? I'm not able to get an answer from her anymore.
Well, if you're worried about Ashley, she's doing just fine.
What does that mean?
You really did a great job keeping things from me. The person splurging all their money putting the house in debt has been you all along, hasn't it?
What are you talking about?
I heard everything from Ashley. Ever since the two of you got married, you've been using a lot of money behind her back. And never once have you left anything for her. And when Ashley tried to help fix things between you two, you run away from her and threaten to post things online about her picking on you. That seems pretty screwed up to me, Parker.
Huh? I'm not doing whatever she's saying to you. I told you before not to believe anything that she says, didn't I? Harper, are you going to believe some crazy woman or your own little brother?
I'm choosing to believe Ashley. She even has evidence that it's been you all along.
What kind of evidence could she possibly have?
Ashley has recorded all of your threats to her and all your fights. But you kept saying you post embarrassing things about her online and stuff, so she never had the ability to do anything about you.
She might have found an AI or something to recreate my voice so that she could take advantage of me.
But even if she's faking all those recordings, things between you two still don't add up. You've been telling me that Ashley's been the one taking money from your savings, so that she can spend more and you can pay the bills. But in reality, it's been you stealing money from Ashley's saving account and using it for your own spending. If you hadn't had as much money in your savings as you said to me, then you would never have needed her money, right?
You can't prove any of that. I know for a fact that Ashley changed after marrying me.
That's right. But she didn't change in the way you did, where you started taking her money from her the moment you realized you didn't have enough for your urges.
That's not it. I haven't been doing anything like that.
Parker, I know that for the past few weeks you've been going nonstop to the casino. When we heard about what Ashley was telling us, my husband and I got in the car and drove past there. And what was parked outside the casino all night? Your car. Did you start gambling because the money that Ashley had in her account was all used up by you? Something even more crazy is that whenever you actually win there, we'd watch as you walked over to the bar next door and spend it all on drinks. You really are a good-for-nothing person, aren't you?
You're wrong, Harper. Ever since we got married, I've been asking for Ashley to start saving her money. And because of all that stress of her overspending, started to play slots and such. I'll go out and drink after to try and help deal with my pain as well.
I'm not wrong about one thing, aren't I? You're the one that's been splurging this whole time. Yet you lied to me this whole time saying that it's her fault and you never had any money, and had me lend you some of my own. No matter how hard you try and flip the story, you're never going to change the fact that you're awful.
Is Ashley starting to talk about wanting to leave me now? She's not going to regret it, right?
That's what you're worried about now? Well, if you plan to do anything about her leaving you, she says to go right ahead. It's not like she's going to care, and neither will we. We all knew that she would try and plan to threaten her after this, and that's why she's going to take you to court next.
Huh? To court?
Why wouldn't she? You've been the one ruining her life. And so, I'd like you to take every bit of responsibility for the horrible things you've done to her while married.
But I'm your little brother, Harper. Don't you think it's terrible to let someone take your own brother to court?
What am I doing that's terrible? Ashley was able to show me all the evidence, and I saw a lot of this myself. If you really want me to trust you after all of this, show me your evidence that she's been taking money from you. You said that last time she spent so much money on the credit card that you needed me to lend you $1,000 to pay the bills, right? I'd like you to show me the credit card bills right now of all on her spending.
I don't know if that'll be shown on the bill.
I know dang well that you can see when and where the card has been used. If you're really having a hard time finding anything, go ahead and call the card company and have them send you a list. But if you can't show me the purchase history of that card, then I'm not going to believe you.
Harper, can you at least stop trying to take me to court? There's no reason to be doing that over something as stupid as all of this.
So does this mean you're going to take responsibility for all that you've done to Ashley? You went and stole from her savings account and used it all on your own. And you threatened her if she tried to do anything about you by making posts about her to try and ruin her image.
I know that I had taken some of her money to spend on my own, but I never wanted to ruin her image in any way. I don't even get how she took all of that as threatening her.
So you're saying that it was her that misunderstood you, saying that you post horrible things about her as a threat. Of course, why would you threaten anyone that was trying to stop you from stealing their money? That would be crazy.
I'm being serious, Harper. I now know that I messed up somewhere along the way, and I'm sorry for that. I promise to not take anything from her again. I'll even delete anything I plan to post that would embarrass her. So please, forgive me for all of this.
I'm never going to forgive you for this. You went and spent a lot of your life's money and even dragged me and my husband into your problems. What you've done is far beyond being resolved by a simple apology. We're going to make sure you learn a valuable lesson. And that will all start with us never believing another word you say. So, Parker, go ahead and take the rest of today to relax and prepare for tomorrow. Because it'll be the beginning of a new and deserved life for you. After that, my husband and I became the mediators for my sister-in-law and Parker's discussion over divorce and what would happen after that. We made sure that everything my brother had planned to do to Ashley as a threat was erased. But just to make sure that nothing would ever come out of him that might harm Ashley's image, we signed an agreement stating that he would have to pay $1 million in damages to her. Now that we have formal papers helping control the matter, I don't think Parker will ever threaten or harm Ashley in any way if he plans on having any money at all. Of course, we had talked about taking him to court over the first threats he made to Ashley and for him stealing her money. But we assumed that by doing that, he could lose everything he has, including his job. So we stopped any more talk about taking him to court and started discussing things like a settlement after the divorce, which he could pay off little by little every month as he continued to work his butt off for the money. And since he'll still have to pay off the settlement for some time to keep Ashley away from him, he will have to go through me and her parents when he has money to hand over. Because that would become too much of a hassle for Parker, though. He decided to borrow some money from the bank and paid everything off to Ashley in one payment. And to make sure something like this never happens again, whenever my parents or myself hear from him asking for help, we make sure to tell him no, but give him ways to make the money he needs. However, it seems like after the divorce, Parker learned a lot about what he did wrong, and with the regrets that he now has, no longer spends his money recklessly. After a few months has passed, we actually learned from Parker that the only reason he had ever married Ashley in the first place was for her money. And that if it weren't for her having all those savings, he would have never even became interested in the first place. That to me was disgusting to hear from him, and only cemented the fact that I'd never forgive him for any of this. I hope that he'll never act like that ever again, and should be well aware that if he does, there will be nobody there to help him. As for Ashley, after the divorce, she continued to live with my husband and I. And she's now found herself a new job and a place to move into, which she plans on doing starting next month. Of course, we plan to stay in touch with her to make sure everything's okay. And even after that, we hope that she comes to our place every so often to hang out. Things may have seemed terrible before with Parker married to her and never being able to tell the truth, but now that she's in our hands and free, I've never seen her with a bigger smile. You can say that now she's no longer with my brother anymore, she's no longer family. But I take her as my sibling over Parker any day after the events that unfolded. I hope that once she's moved into her new life outside my house, she can live a much more free life without the memories of what Parker did to her in the past.
Carolyn, I'm not going to make it home from work until later tonight. You don't have to worry about making me dinner now either.
What? I already made dinner though. Aren't you a little bit late telling me now?
I'm sorry. I'm well aware that recently I've been a bit late coming home. So I just thought you'd be aware of that as well.
But there are days where you come home earlier than normal, right? If you aren't going to tell me anything, I'm assuming you'll be home in time for dinner.
I said I was sorry. I'll make sure to eat it for breakfast tomorrow.
You'll make sure to wake up in time, right? You said all of that once before, but that time you slept in late and didn't have any time to eat it.
I had to come home super late that night, so I didn't have the energy to wake you early. You have to understand that I'm the one working.
And I'm working as well, Noah.
Part-time job. You do that from home anyway.
Well, I have to look after a 3-year-old boy while I work. I'm also taking care of chores, and so I think no matter how you try and view it, we're both equally busy. And also, I've noticed you haven't even been helping out with anything at home these days. It's been a month now and you haven't helped get Jack into the tub. You won't even help tuck him into bed or anything like that either.
If you have something to complain about, then go to the company about it. I want to get home on time to be able to help you out.
I'm sure you do, but how much longer are you going to be this busy? You started getting this busy just after New Year's, right?
I think after just a bit longer, I'll start being able to come home sooner.
Really?
I'm serious. At the moment, I can see already that my workload is starting to decrease.
Well, that's good to hear and all. But for the time being, when you get a day off, can you at least spend some time with Jack playing? It's getting nice outside now, and it'd be perfect for the two of you to go outside and play. I just want you to start acting like a father for him.
When I get my days off, I like to use them to relax myself from all the stress I have.
And I'm in the same boat, Noah.
All right. I'll try my best to start playing with him over the weekends.
This is a promise, right? I've even started to hear Jack saying that he never gets to see his dad anymore. He already knows that there's somebody missing from his life. I don't even think you've seen him besides when he's sleeping these past few weeks, right?
Well, you have a point. Then I think this Saturday I'll hang out with Jack and take him wherever he'd like to go.
Really? Jack has really been wanting to go to the superhero performance. It's happening over the theme park this weekend. Do you think you can both go out there for the day?
All right. Theme park, huh? I can make that work.
Thank goodness. I want him to know that his dad is still thinking about him.
And this is me showing you that I really am sorry for not being around the two of you for a little while now.
Well, you have really only been coming home to sleep, and that's it seems. And even when you do come home earlier, you just grab something to eat and then pass out on the couch. I've been sort of worried about Noah.
Sorry.
It's fine. I understand that your work has been pretty hectic for a little while now. But I bet he's going to be so happy to go with his dad to the theme park this weekend. Do you think I can go let him know about this right now?
Sure, since I won't be home till later anyway. And I have no idea if he'll even be awake tomorrow morning when I get up. Well, I'm going to get back to work now.
Alright, good luck with the rest of today's work. And make sure to make it home safe tonight. Noah, when are you going to be home tonight?
I think it won't be until midnight or so.
I'm not going to forgive you for what happened today.
Well, it couldn't be helped, Carolyn. I didn't expect for a customer to contact me out of nowhere today. They asked for me to come out with them, and I couldn't just say no to that.
Yet you said that you'd go to the theme park with Jack today, right? Jack was so looking forward to seeing that superhero performance.
But look, him and I were able to go out and see that movie he likes, right? I think that should have fixed things between us now.
I know that, but even getting you to go see that movie with him was difficult to achieve. And when you told him that you had work you needed to get done today, you didn't even apologize for leaving him. After that, he was crying for well over 2 hours.
For 2 hours? He has a lot of power to be able to last that long.
This isn't something to be laughing about, Noah. If you're not going to be able to keep a promise, then don't even make it in the first place.
I never planned to break that promise, okay? If it was a message or a call from one of my coworkers, I would have ignored it. But this time, it was from a customer, and my boss would never forgive me if I ignored their call. So please forgive me for this.
When you get home from work tonight, I want you to apologize to Jack, okay? And if you really aren't home until after midnight, then you apologize to him tomorrow morning.
Will do. I'll make sure to apologize to him.
I'll make sure from now on that as long as you're working this much to not ask you for anything else.
You really don't have to say things like that. But by the end of this month, I should no longer be busy with work.
Wait, this month?
Yeah. It seems we are finally coming to the end of this long busy streak. So, I promise that starting next month, I'll put more time and energy into raising Jack and helping with the house.
I see. So you'll finally be done with coming home super late.
Yep. Sorry for making you work this hard for so long. But next week, I will have to go on a small business trip.
Business trip? That normally doesn't happen to you, does it?
Well, this time the client I have to go see will show me around his offices. But once that's all taken care of, I'll no longer be this busy.
You say that, but won't this only lead up to you saying that work will start getting busy again the following month?
No, it won't. I'm telling you that my boss is well aware that he asks a lot out of all of us, including me this time. And so we should have a long time to rest after this month.
So you're saying there will no longer be any of this coming home late from work stuff, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Well then, once you're done with this month's work, I'm going to ask for you to do all sorts of things here with us at home.
And that's totally fine with me. Actually, I look forward to doing things with you.
And while I'm still talking with you, something came in the mail. From Tyler, I believe. Isn't he one of your friends from back in high school?
That's right. We had drinks with him last time we went back to my parents' house. And back then, he was telling me how he'd start working for a new company selling meat. So I think he sent us a package of the meat he sells.
Really? That's amazing and very kind of him. Then I guess tonight we'll have some of the steak that's in here for dinner.
I'll make sure to tell him thanks later.
Don't you think we should send something from us back to him as a thank you?
I don't think that'll be necessary. His wife is still in town here, and so I can just give something to her to take to him the next time she goes to visit.
I see then. But I'd like to send something to him from us at some point in the mail as well. I really love all these types of meats he sent to us, so I'm really happy.
And that's why I asked him to do this.
Really? But even if that's the case, I'd like him to get something in return for having this sent to us.
Well, you can just let it be. I'll let him know that you're happy because of what he did.
Well, since you helped get us this box of meat from Tyler, I guess I can forgive you a little for what happened today.
That'll only get half of me forgiven?
Of course it will, Noah. It takes time to regain one's trust after losing it. My forgiveness for you will all rely on how you handle things with work, and after work, so please do your best to show this family you still care. Noah, do you have your phone on you right now? Have you not seen that Jack's got into an accident? Why are you not answering my calls right now?
Stop trying to call me so many times. If I couldn't get to the first call, what makes you think I'll be able to answer any of the others?
Are you not worried about your son right now?
I told you that I'm on a business trip right now. You're being rude. You know that I won't be able to do anything from here, so stop trying to talk to me about him. Do you think that by calling me, things with Jack would just magically be fixed?
Business trip? Even though I just saw you walking with another woman right in front of my very eyes?
Huh?
Did you really think you could fool me by saying you went on a business trip when you're still in town? Well, you've been out with that other girl that I've never seen before. Jack got into a serious accident.
Huh?
I told you, right? Today I'd be going out with your mom and Jack. And your mom wanted to go and see an art exhibit in town today. So on our way there, Jack began to walk a bit ahead, and he told us that he saw you walking across the road. And when he did see you, he began to run across the road to see you while screaming "Dad," and that's when a bike hit him.
No way. He must have mistaken someone else as me.
I know dang well he did not. I saw you, and so did your mom. And that girl you were walking with today, holding hands and all, was one of your classmates from high school, right? Your mom was kind enough to tell me about her. She's the wife of your friend Tyler.
Hey, I have an excuse for this.
If you would have hurried up and come to the hospital when this happened, I might have been willing to forgive you for something like this. I wanted to know that you care about your son. But the fact that you didn't even answer the phone when I kept calling you, and then telling me that you're on some sort of business trip, I think things are over with now.
Wait, hold on a second, Carolyn. I'm sorry, I'll start coming right now.
You don't have to come now. I already know very well how you feel about Jack and I. So don't even bother coming around the two of us ever again.
Carolyn, please. Can you please talk to me? I'm telling you that I really regret what's happened and I want to talk to you about all of this.
Fine. I've also started to finally calm down about a lot of this.
Carolyn, I really messed up a lot this time. Jack is out of the hospital now, right?
Yeah, he banged his head up pretty badly, but after the exams and everything, he was let out with just some bandages around the cuts and scrapes. They even said he was lucky to make it out of that without a concussion.
I see. Thank God.
Well, I wouldn't be thanking him just yet. You told him that you were busy with work, yet you were actually just busy having an affair. And even worse, it was with one of your old friends' wives. How many people's lives do you plan to ruin before you're happy?
I told you already that we weren't having an affair or anything like that. Tyler's wife is also a really good friend to me and such. I already talked with Tyler about all of this.
You talked with him about you holding his wife's hand. What kind of relationship do you all have then?
How can you say this? We just talked about how life was back in high school and that we wanted to re-experience that. So her and I just started to casually walk with our hands held. There's nothing deep about any of this.
But to me, I still have no idea what's going on. Are there really people that just let their friends walk with hand in hand with their wife? Also, why would you go out of your way to make up going on a business trip for that?
I'm sorry for lying to you about that. But it turns out that Tyler's wife, her name is Emmy, by the way. Emmy doesn't really want to go all the way out to see Tyler while he's working for that new company. She says she really doesn't like the countryside, so she plans to just stay here in the city for now. Because she really has no choice but to go, she decided she'd hang out with me one last time before leaving. You don't seem to like that though, do you?
Course I don't. You can't even keep a single promise with your family. Yet when it comes to your friend's wife, you're just fine taking time off work to go out with her.
I'm sorry for making this so confusing. I really messed up by not telling the truth.
Have you talked with Tyler anymore since Jack's accident?
Nope. I actually haven't heard anything from either of those two.
Well, that'll happen, won't it? I'm sure that Tyler's a bit suspicious now.
I did make sure to tell Tyler about what happened, though.
Hey, there are no more lies now, right?
Nothing else. I know that I wasn't honest about holding hands with one of my friends from high school and all, but that's it. You don't have to doubt me anymore. We are husband and wife, and so you should be able to trust me at least a little right now, right?
All right then. I guess we're getting a divorce.
Why? I told you everything now. There's really nothing else I need to tell you.
I know there's even more. You're telling me that you haven't been having an affair, but you sure did. I know that you guys did things in bed. I know that you've been going to Emmy's house during the week when you've been telling me you had work. She's been living alone now for a little while with Tyler gone, so it works out perfectly for you.
I have not.
Hey, Noah, I've heard everything from Tyler already.
Huh?
Emmy happened to tell Tyler about everything. Seems she just couldn't keep her secret from him any longer.
She told him everything and he told you.
He told me everything, Noah. From when you both started to go out together to just a few days ago. Back when we all went out to drink while back in town at your parents this year, you ended up getting close with Emmy while Tyler was passed out and I went home to care for Jack. Both you and Emmy started to talk about how much you liked each other back in high school, right? I don't even know how to react to all of this. You ended up cheating on me with your friend from high school's wife.
I'm so sorry.
Are you finally going to accept the truth now?
But what Emmy and I had was just sort of a fling, and that's it. We planned to only do things together until she either moved in with him or until he came back to town again.
Listen, all of that isn't what I'm worried about right now.
I just hope you understand me and her playing around together doesn't mean that I forgot about the both of you.
During the past few months that you've been with her, I've had to pick up all the slack. How does leaving me at home all the time to both care for Jack and the house show how much you still care for us?
I didn't mean for all of that to happen, though.
Bull crap. You left me doing all the chores and cooking and caring for Jack, and you were never even here to make any memories with your boy. And on the weekends when you're supposed to have time off work, you make up some excuse saying you had to go back in jest so you could go out with Emmy more. You even canceled the most important plan you had with Jack, and that was a trip to the theme park. What about all of that wasn't meant to happen? You just showed both me and your son that your secret girlfriend is more important than the two of us.
Sorry, I really screwed up this time. But none of that meant that I don't care about you and Jack. I don't want to have to leave you.
Well, if you could at least come to the hospital, if you would have at least showed Jack that you cared about him more than any other plan you had, then maybe I wouldn't want to divorce you. But you chose to continue to lie to me, and I cannot forgive that kind of crap from you any longer. You told me so many lies, even going as far as to break promises with Jack and I, all just to be with your high school friend's wife. I don't have any need for you as a husband, and Jack sure doesn't need you as his father.
Carolyn, I'm asking you to please rethink all of this. Just forgive me. Actually, you don't even have to forgive me, but please just don't divorce me. I promise that from now on, I'll only live for the two of you. Please believe me, Carolyn.
It already hurts me just knowing that you were doing all those things with a friend's wife. It hurts even more for me to have to say this, but Noah, you asked for all of this the moment you started making up lies to go out and sleep with her. I have no desire to be around you anymore. All I can see in my head now when I think of you is a man that's less family and more monster.
I'm so sorry, Carolyn. I'm really sorry. I promise to make things right. So please just stop thinking about getting a divorce.
I also hope that you would have never thought about divorce, and I even hope that you would have just thought about your son. But you went against both of those hopes of mine and ruined everything you had with Jack and I. I told you that it's hard to reform a trust with someone you love, right? Well, what makes you think I'm ever going to trust you with the amount of lies you made? Once I had made my choice very clear with Noah, we got a divorce. Of course, Noah cried for hours on end trying to get me to stay with him. But him going out with his high school friend's wife behind my back and all the lying about having to work lots of hours made that impossible for me. And when he told me he couldn't come to the hospital to see his own son because he was on a business trip, I lost all respect for him. At first, Noah wouldn't even try to sign the divorce papers. But when I had his mom there to tell him that she was not happy with everything he did, he had no other choice but to do as we said. Also, Tyler and Emmy ended up getting divorced. Of course, Tyler never knew that Noah was actually hanging out with his wife all that time, and so their friendship ended very quickly, and rumors about it spread like wildfire. Emmy tried to run away back to her parents' place, but they all had already heard about what happened and forced her out. With nowhere left to run, she now stays hidden inside her home here in town, where none of her old classmates can look down on her. Now, back to Noah and I, we still had to figure out the situation with Jack after the divorce. I decided that Jack would be staying with me for most of his childhood, and that Noah would need to pay child support for us. And every month, Jack's grandma could come and pick him up, and take him to see his dad for the day, but only with the supervision of grandma. I hope that by letting Jack see his father once a month, their relationship will slowly and safely be able to heal. However, in my case, I have no plans of ever rekindling any sort of relation I had with Noah. I don't want to talk with him anymore so that he will continue to pay the child support and there will be no problems. However, if the day comes that he does decide to stop giving me the child support, I'll have no choice but to confront him again. And one other thing, after the divorce, Jack and I did move out of that house for good, and are now back living with my parents back at their house. He now has both his grandparents here all day to play with him, and so I can already see in his eyes that he's having way more fun here than he ever had back when it was just Noah and I. He hasn't even had much time to play anymore besides with me ever since Noah started lying to us, so this must all be a huge breath of fresh air for him. I'm sure that even though he's still so young, he'll have some sort of memories relating to all of this. I just hope that in time, I can make so many amazing memories with him, and that will cloud the horrible memories he has of the past few months. Also, with him now having more time to spend with my parents, this will give me time to start working harder on my job. I may have only had enough time to work 20 or so hours a week while having to also manage the house and Jack. But from now on, I'm going to try and work a lot more so that I can start saving money for Jack's future. Of course, there is the money I got from Noah in a settlement that I got with the divorce, but I want to make sure that we both have a comfortable future ahead of us. I may be asking a lot from my parents for a little while as we live with them, but I know that Jack will be loved by them far more than he was by his own dad.
Good work today. I just came back home. How about you, Ivan?
Sorry, I still have work to do. You can eat dinner without me.
Okay. You've been working till late recently. You okay?
Our new project isn't going well. I haven't been able to do my chores for the past few days. Thanks for doing them instead of me, although you're busy with work too.
Don't worry. You always help me out when I'm busy too. I get home earlier than you, so let me do the housework. I also like to cook, remember? Cleaning is not my specialty though.
I could do some cleaning around the house on the weekends.
Thanks. That'll be helpful.
Hey, I have something to tell you, Annie.
Huh? What do you want to tell me?
I want to talk about this face-to-face when I get home. But I don't know when I'll be home, so I'm going to tell you now.
What is it?
My parents have been asking me if we can live together.
Huh? Live with them? I thought we promised that we won't live with either of our parents when we got married.
Yeah, I remember. But they suddenly started asking me if they could live with us. I'm not exactly sure why, but I guess they're worried to live alone now that they're getting older.
That goes the same to my parents as well. How did you reply to my parents?
I told them honestly that we never planned to live with our parents. Then they told me to consider about it positively.
Okay, but you'll tell them no, right?
Of course I'll tell them no. But you know, they tend to be stubborn. It's hard to change their minds sometimes.
Really? From what I've seen, they're really nice people who respect our personal space.
We've only been married for 2 years. You don't know what my parents are like. We only meet them a few times a year.
Well, yeah. We don't meet them often, although we live quite nearby. But I do think I know them pretty well. They're not the type to suddenly say they want to live with us.
No, Annie. You don't know them at all. They do things we never expect them to do sometimes. And they could be really stubborn too.
Then, make sure you say no, okay? We decided not to live with either of our parents. Maybe they're not serious about it too.
But they asked me to think about it. I guess they're pretty serious this time.
Either way, tell them no. You won't want to live with my parents even if they ask us to, right?
Your parents live far away in a different state.
What if they say they'll move in with us?
Well, in that case, I'll be surprised.
Right? Make sure to tell them no, or I might move out.
Don't do that! I can't live without you. I'll be sure to tell them no.
Then tell them tomorrow. No need to wait.
Huh? Tomorrow?
I think it's better to tell them quickly. We don't want to keep them waiting. They might start having high hopes if we keep them waiting.
Okay. I'll visit them tomorrow after work.
Do you want me to join you?
No, it's okay. I don't want it to be awkward. I'll clearly tell them no, so don't worry. Annie, sorry to text you during your working hours.
Nope, it's fine. I was supposed to be off today. They should at least grant me some freedom to reply to you. I just finished eating lunch, so I have some time.
My parents called me to invite me over. I'm so sorry, Annie.
Huh? You're scaring me.
We're gonna move in with them.
Huh? Wait a minute. I thought you told them we didn't want to a month ago.
They haven't given up, apparently.
No, we can't live with them. How can you decide this alone without consulting me? I told you that I didn't want to live with them.
I don't think we could change their minds now. I'm really sorry.
So you've given up on saying no to them? But I don't think I can live with them. If we live under the same roof, I'll have to do the housework more properly. I think I'll have to be in charge of cooking meals for them. I also have a job, so I don't think I'll have enough to act as a good wife.
Don't worry about that. Mom told me she'll support you. She'll be doing the housework for us, so there's nothing to worry about. You can focus on your job.
I can't just depend on her with everything. As her daughter-in-law, it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Think about it. If we live with them, dinner will be ready when we get home. We don't have to cook. Didn't you say you like Mom's cooking?
Yeah, she's really good at cooking, but that doesn't mean I can live with them. Can we have a family meeting? I'll participate too this time.
No, it's too late.
Why?
They decided to renovate the house so that we can live with them. They're going to increase the number of rooms.
Did they decide everything when I haven't even agreed to it?
They told me they'll break relations with me if I don't agree.
Wait a minute. That's really selfish of them. They're being ignorant of our opinion.
Sorry, Annie.
If they're gonna threaten us like this, I'll be more than happy to break relations with them, to be honest.
Wait. I don't want to break relations with them.
Don't you think they're being too selfish, though? I can't just accept their selfish actions.
Can't we try and live with them? Give them a chance? If it's too hard for you, we can always leave the house.
I think it'll be harder to leave once we start living with them.
I'm their only son. I think they're being overprotective of me. You have a big brother, right? You don't understand what it's like to be an only child.
I do have a brother, but I can't accept this, Ivan. I'll support you as much as I can. You're rarely at home, busy with work.
Things will calm down by the time we start living with them. So please, Annie. My parents have been taking great care of me since I was little. I want to do something in return.
Ivan.
I've already paid for the renovation fees, too. I can't say no at this point.
Huh? Are we paying for the fees? Did you use our savings without asking me?
I can't let my parents pay for everything, but they told me they'll pay 2/3 of the total payment.
Your family always ignores my opinion, don't they?
We never meant to ignore you. Hey, Annie, why do you refuse? Is there a special reason? Can't we try living with them for once? We don't have children, and we're both busy with work. I think we'll benefit from living with them because we'll have less housework to do.
For you? That might be true. But it's gonna be awkward for me to live with them.
You'll get used to it.
Maybe I will, but I don't want to cause trouble and ruin our relationship. We have really different lifestyles. I think your parents would feel uncomfortable too. I wanted to live separately unless there's a special reason why we have to live with them.
But there are some benefits too. We'll no longer have to pay our rent.
The cons outweigh the pros, Ivan. We'll have more things to worry about. It's gonna be stressful for me.
You'll be fine, Annie. My parents are fond of you. They want to live with us because they think you're their real daughter.
Okay. Let me think about it.
There's nothing we could do about it. Thinking won't change anything.
I want to organize my thoughts. I have to go back to work now. So let me process all the information when I have the time to. Are you already home, Ivan?
Yeah, but I'm going to go meet my friends now.
Oh, alright.
I'll probably go drinking with them, so I'll be back at around 8. You don't have to prepare dinner for me.
I wanted to discuss about this face to face.
Let's talk about it when I get home. But I can't stop them anymore. There's something we could do. I'm sorry, but you have to accept it, Annie.
Hello, Mom. It's Annie. I'm sorry to text you so suddenly.
Long time no see, Annie. You're always welcome to text me anytime. We had dinner outside, so I don't have to cook tonight. I have plenty of time to have a conversation with you.
Oh, I see. I wanted to talk to you about something.
Is it about us living together?
Yes. I don't think it's the best time to start living together. It's gonna take longer for us to get to our workplace from your house, and I think we'll cause you some trouble if we live together. I don't think I'll be able to help with housework because I can be really busy with work sometimes. I think it's better for us to live separately. So, could you give it a second thought?
What do you mean by giving it a second thought? I thought you were the one who wanted to live with us.
Huh? Me?
That's what my son told me. You really had a hard time deciding what to do. There's no need to live together now, is there? When it comes to living with other people, I don't have any good memories. So I never wanted to live with others. I refused when my son first asked us if we can live together.
Is that true? I thought you said you would break relations with him if we don't agree to live with you. That's what my husband told me.
I thought you said that. He told me that you were frustrated about doing all the housework for him. I thought you said you would divorce him if he didn't live with you, to help out with the housework.
No, I never said that. When my husband told me about us living together, I asked him to say no because that was what we decided when we got married. But then he told me today that they decided to live together and to renovate the house.
So, does this mean that my son has been making it sound like we both wanted to live together? This is getting weird.
Yes.
My son has been lying to make us live together. Am I right? It doesn't make any sense. Why would he do something so complicated?
Could you keep this conversation a secret from my husband? And I wanted to ask you, have you already decided to renovate the house?
My son is in charge of planning the renovation, and we agreed to pay for the fees.
Have you already paid for it?
No, not yet.
Then, could you not pay him? If he asks you to, could you come up with random reasons so that you won't have to pay? I'll try to find out what he's up to.
Okay. If there's anything I can help, feel free to text me, okay?
Yes, thank you so much. I'll let you know if I find some information. Ivan, when are you coming home today?
Maybe before midnight? Anything wrong?
I wanted to talk to you about us moving in with your parents.
I thought you agreed to it the last time we discussed. There's something you could do now. It's already decided.
No. I wanted to ask about the renovation. Have you decided which company to ask for?
Oh, about that? We decided the company, but the planning process is pretty complicated, so they haven't started renovating the house yet.
Oh, I see. So, where is our money? The money you used from our savings.
Huh? What? I already paid the company.
That's weird. I heard from your mother that they'll be paying for it.
Huh? Did you talk with Mom?
I wanted to thank her for paying most of the renovation fees. Then she told me that they would be paying for everything. So, why did you withdraw money from our savings?
I didn't tell you this, but the price was more expensive than we imagined. I didn't want to ask them to pay more. I felt sorry, so I decided to pay the rest using our saved money.
Where are you now, Ivan?
What do you mean where? I'm at my office.
I don't think so. Didn't you use it to rent a new room for you and your lover? I'm guessing you used it for the moving expenses.
Huh? What are you talking about?
What do you think you're doing? I hired a detective to find out what you've been up to.
Huh?
And I find out that you've been having an affair for the past few months. You wanted me to live with your parents so that you can divorce me. I can't believe you've been lying to me all this time. If you wanted the divorce, just tell me honestly. You don't have to make up stories to make me live with your parents.
Calm down, Annie.
I am perfectly calm.
I'm not having an affair. I just helped my friend move in. You're misunderstanding.
Are you still trying to lie to me? I have proof.
What proof?
I have photos of you holding hands with her, walking out of her apartment. Oh, I also have some audio recorded, but I bet you wouldn't want to hear it. Either way, I have proof that shows you've been having an affair.
Annie, I'm so sorry. You're misunderstanding everything. I never had an affair. I was just cheating on you.
Huh? Isn't that the same thing? You're married, and you cheated on me. You've been having an affair with someone other than your wife.
I only met her a few times. We don't have any special bonds between us. I'll never meet her again. So please, don't divorce me.
I thought you were the one who wanted to get a divorce. You thought I would leave you if you made me live with your parents. You planned to stay at your lover's room after I moved in with your parents. I have the audio of the conversation between you and your lover.
Huh? Why?
You were talking pretty loudly when you were walking home with your lover. Remember when you visited that nice bar with your lover a week ago?
How do you know this?
You really didn't want to be the bad guy, did you? You planned out everything so that you would eventually get a divorce.
Annie, I'm really sorry. But I promise, I'll never meet her again. We've been having fights recently. We have different ways of thinking. We don't get along.
Are you trying to get back together with me after you leave her?
Hopefully, yes. You don't have to move in with my parents. To be honest, you are way better than her. She's just youthful, and nothing more.
Are you telling me that you chose to have an affair with this young woman just because she was youthful? Can you stop making fun of me?
I'm not! I really regret having an affair with her. I was also having second thoughts about getting a divorce.
But you're in her room right now. You don't plan to leave her, do you?
Nope, I'm on my way home now. I'm never going to meet her again. I ended our relationship.
In such a short time? You haven't even left her room. I know everything, Ivan. I'm right in front of her apartment.
Uh-huh?
And your parents are also here with me. Let's have a family discussion, shall we? I'm going to be participating this time. You can't ignore my opinions now.
Why are my parents here? It's our problem. We should discuss about it privately.
I don't think our private discussion would take us anywhere. And you are the one who brought your parents into this problem. Stop trying to escape from your responsibilities, Ivan.
Annie, I'm really sorry. I was stupid. I'm so sorry for everything I did.
It's too late to say sorry now. Either way, we decided to break relations with you. You have to accept it, Ivan. There's nothing you can do. He planned out all of this so that he wouldn't be held responsible and have to pay for the compensation money. He didn't want his lover to be blamed for destroying our relationship. I guess he wanted his lover to be accepted by his parents after our divorce. If he wanted to remarry his lover, he should have simply told me that he wanted a divorce. Considering his personality, I think he didn't have enough courage to ask me to divorce him. I am really disappointed in him. To be honest, I'm glad that I was able to get a divorce with such a terrible guy. I received compensation money from both of them. He also agreed to pay back the money he withdrew from our savings. My ex-husband now suffers from debt to pay for the compensation money, and his lover's parents also found out about their affair when she asked them to help pay for the compensation money. This became the trigger, and they eventually broke up. I'm genuinely surprised by how stupid they are. And I'm happy we're back to strangers. I want to forget about them as soon as possible and hope that I would never see them again. During our family discussion, I was furious and honestly expressed my anger towards him. But when I first found out about him cheating on me, I was on the verge of having a mental breakdown. When I was having a hard time, my friends and family, including his parents, were there for me. Thanks to their support, I was able to fight back till the end. I haven't been able to get over him completely, but I will never forget that I have many people who are willing to support me when I need help. I hope I can feel better soon. We all have our good times and bad times. That's life. I will never lose hope, and I'm definitely gonna live a better life than my ex-husband.
Hey Randy, are you home right now? I was wondering if you wouldn't mind checking something on my laptop for me. I was just curious if my USB was still in there or not. Can you look for me?
Yeah, it's still here in the laptop. This is your USB that you use for work, right? Did you forget it today?
I totally did, yeah. But I have some files from there that I really need to have with me to get some work done today.
Oh, really? Well, shoot, that's too bad. Do you want me to come over and bring it to you? I'm not working today, so I could do that if you wanted me to.
No, you don't have to worry about doing that. But would you mind turning on my laptop and just seeing if the files I need are there in the first place?
You want me to get on your laptop? Well, okay, but only if you're sure it's okay with you and you won't get in trouble with work.
It'll be totally fine. I know that you're not trying to steal any company's secrets or anything like that.
Okay, then, if you say so. It's turning on right now. Give it a moment.
Sure thing. Just let me know when, please.
Okay, I think I should be good now. Actually, it seems like there are several windows you left open here. What exactly am I looking for?
Could you open up the browser and look for a file labeled for this month? If you open that, you should be able to see some designs and photos of the company newsletter, right? Okay, if you see all of that, go ahead and put it all together for me, okay?
Wait, you want me to mess around with these files for you?
Yeah, it's fine. You're doing me a favor, remember? And I just have too many things going on today and totally forgot that I had to have this done by the end of the month.
But, Phil, I can't just do your job for you. This doesn't feel right.
Oh, please, you worry too much. It's fine. It's not like there's any sensitive information or anything like that in there. Besides, I'm giving you permission right now.
I understand that, but I just feel like this is your work and you should be the one doing this, right? Maybe you should just work on this after you come home today.
I thought about doing that too, but it's just not going to work. The boss wants to take us all out drinking tonight, so I won't be home until quite late.
Well, I'm sorry, but I can't do this for you. I literally don't even know how.
Come on, I'm begging you here. You have to do this for me, please. It'll just be this one time.
I really don't like this right now, Phil.
But I know you can do it. I mean, don't you design work at your job anyways? I've seen some of your stuff and I know that you can handle a measly corporate newsletter.
It's just, well, I feel like you've been doing this more and more often.
What have I been doing more often? What do you mean by that?
I mean, the way that you're asking for all of these favors from me, I feel like you're just asking me to do things that you don't want to do.
You really think so?
I do. In fact, the last time you had a business trip, you asked me to pack your bags for you. And every day you've asked me to prepare your work clothes too. Not to mention the fact that you'll buy new appliances and leave them in the box for me to figure out how to set up. If you really didn't know how to do some of this stuff, that might be another story. But even then, you should just be able to look it up.
Oh, wait a second. Are you mad at me right now? You're the house husband. Those are clearly your job. Besides, my mom would always do that stuff for me without ever complaining.
Okay, well, I'm not your mom, and I don't think you should expect me to treat you like I am. Do you know that I really don't like being told what to do or given orders?
I'm not asking you to be my mom or anything like that, man. All I'm saying is that I think you shouldn't be complaining about helping me out so much.
I don't understand what happened to you, Phil. You didn't have any problem doing things for yourself when we first got married. But lately, I feel like you come to me for just about everything. Now you're literally asking me to do some of your own job for you? Can't just stand by and pretend like this is okay.
Okay, fine. I promise that from now on, I'm going to try and do everything that I'm able to do on my own. But can you please just this once do this little Photoshop job for me? Then I promise to never ask you for anything ever again.
I already said that the answer was no. This is your work and you should be the one to do it.
Ugh, why do you always have to be so stubborn? I don't get why you're acting like this towards me.
I'm not acting like anything. I'm just saying that I don't want to do your work for you. I really don't think I'm being too unfair right now. Besides, what if your bosses find out that you were asking me to do this stuff for you?
Well, they won't find out, so that's not even going to be a problem for me. Can't you just do this one little favor, Randy?
I'm sorry, Phil, but I can't, and I won't. If you want, I can email those files to you and you can do them yourself.
Okay, fine, whatever. I'll just go and do this all myself.
Well, it was your job to begin with, so...
And you don't even work full-time. And who are you to act all high and mighty towards me?
I'm not trying to act high and mighty at all, but I work and take care of the house, remember?
That's right. You're just a house husband and nothing more. That's why you ought to be taking care of me even more. Just whose money do you think it is that buys the food and pays for the roof over our heads, huh?
Okay. If you really want to play this game, how about I ask who cooks that food and make sure what's under said roof is clean and livable?
Doesn't matter because I'm the one who pays money for those things. You just do stuff with them after I've already paid.
And I am so grateful that you have a job that can afford us all of these things. I really, truly am. But the fact of the matter is that we're married. We're a team, and things would cost money whether we liked it or not. But right now, we're combining our powers, and that's how we agreed to live.
But you're not doing your fair share. You're not helping me when I need it.
You really don't think that I do enough for you around here?
Oh, you know what? Just drop it already. I'm sick and tired of having this conversation over and over again. I have to get back to work, so just leave me alone, okay? Hey, Randy, did you finally remake dinner for me?
Nope, and I still haven't done that yet.
Wait, what? Are you kidding me? Just how much time is it going to take for you to recook a lousy meal? Just what have you been doing?
Well, I'm just about to hop in the shower, actually.
You're about to get in the shower while your poor husband starves to death?
Did you seriously just ask me that? Are you going to pretend like tonight didn't happen? You took one bite of what I had prepared for us to eat and got so upset that you dumped your bottle of beer on me. You complained the whole time that it wasn't as good as when your mom made it, and then you left and said that you weren't coming back until I had remade the entire dish.
Well, it's not my fault that you don't know how to cook well. You should have learned what I like by now.
I don't buy that. You haven't had any problems with the food I've made for you in the past. So what's changed so suddenly, huh?
It's not a sudden change, Randy. I've always felt this way. I just never said anything about it until now. But the fact is, you've never been a good cook and all your food tastes so bland.
I really don't know how that could be, since at this point I'm putting in at least double the seasoning that your mom uses in her recipes. If you have a problem with my cooking, then it's your mom's recipes that you have a problem with.
That isn't true. I know what my mom's cooking tastes like, and it's always so good and rich with flavor. Maybe it just tastes bad because the person cooking it doesn't appreciate me enough and is always on my back for the smallest things.
You mean the things that you're always dumping on me to do for you? It's not like I want to be complaining to you about these things.
I'm only giving you things that I know you can handle. I don't get why you're making such a big deal over this. I mean, I'm the one who works, so you should support me. Isn't that fair?
And just why do you think that you having a full-time job entitles you to whatever you want from me? There are things that you need to do, and you should stop sloughing them off onto me. I mean, you come home and do nothing but lie on the couch while I run around maintaining everything. Where's my support?
Well, I'm tired from work when I get home.
I understand that. I may just work part-time, but I'm basically on call around the clock at home. You realize that, right? All you have to do is point or grunt for something, and I'm more than willing to grab it for you. Even though you're more than capable of doing things yourself, you still have me to do every little thing for you.
Oh, please. Don't even try to compare some little household chores to what I do. Honestly, how did you ever talk me into letting you be the house husband?
Why do we have to repeat this conversation over and over again? For the last time, I am not your mother, and you have to stop treating me like her. Got it?
You know what, Randy? I don't think you understand how married life is supposed to work.
And just what is that supposed to mean?
I mean that I work so that you can live, okay? You don't have any right to talk to me like this.
Are you kidding me right now? What has gotten into you, Phil?
I mean that you don't get to boss me around. I wear the pants in this relationship. You're acting just like the women that the other men in the office always complain about. So entitled and needy. I'm the one who feeds you. I'm the one who houses you. And you need to remember your place. So when I tell you to do something, you do it.
Of all the... I literally don't even know what to say to that right now. You never used to be like this.
Of course I have. I've just always held back what I wanted to say. But I can't do that anymore if you're going to act like this. Now, you get back in the kitchen, remake my dinner, and don't ever backtalk me again. If you don't, then this marriage is over. Hey Randy, I'm heading home now.
Oh, really?
Is that all you've got to say to me right now? I thought that I finally talked some sense into you last night, and now you're taking up an attitude with me again?
I'm not doing anything like that at all, Phil.
You better not be, for your sake. So, is dinner ready yet? I won't let it slide if the taste isn't perfect. And the more you screw up, the more and more I think about getting a divorce.
Oh, don't worry. I'm already leaving. If you want dinner, how about you go and ask your mom to cook it for you? I'm sure she would love to dote on her son.
Wait, what do you mean you're leaving?
I mean just that. I've packed up my bags and my parents are going to come and pick me up soon.
Wait, hold on a second. What did you mean about my mom?
Right. Well, I told your mom that I was going to be moving out, and she was actually overjoyed to hear that. She said that she wanted to move in with you right away and that she was going to cook for you every day from now on. So now you'll be able to enjoy her cooking and never have to suffer through my bland meals again.
No, hold on. why are you doing this? I don't get why you're leaving.
You said so yourself, right? If I didn't want to do what you wanted me to do, then we would get a divorce, right?
But I wasn't really serious about that.
If you weren't serious about something like that, you shouldn't have said it in the first place. You said so many terrible things that I just reached my limit and I called your mom over.
Can you please just tell my mom to go back to her house?
Where'd I go and do something like that?
You know exactly why I don't want my mom here. If we're breaking up, I can't have my mom living with me and cramping my style. And I hate her food. But if I ever don't eat it, then she starts to cry and say that I hate her.
But I don't understand. Up until now, you've been telling me that I should be more like your mother. You've been comparing my cooking to hers and say that I've been the one making mistakes.
Well, that wasn't true.
Which part of it wasn't true, Phil?
Look, can you please just tell my mom to turn around and go back home? I'm just really tired from work and I don't have the energy to deal with her right now.
I don't know. I've kind of told myself to never do anything you tell me to ever again. Anyways, I'm leaving my signed portion of the divorce papers on the kitchen table. You just need to sign in the highlighted parts and send them off.
Randy, are you there? Please come back home. I really miss you.
Can you please stop blowing up my phone with all of these calls and texts? I'm in the middle of dinner with my family right now.
Please, I'm so sorry. I was acting like an idiot.
Oh, really? You were? And how were you doing that?
I said things I shouldn't have. And did mean things as well.
And you're only realizing now how much of an idiot you've been?
Well, it's not exactly like that.
And what do you mean by that?
Well, during that night I went out drinking with my coworkers. I was kind of grumbling about our marriage to one of my colleagues. He said that it's important for a husband to be strict with this, well, in my case, husband, and remind them of who is in charge.
And that's why you poured your beer on me? To tell me that you were in charge?
I'm sorry, but you just weren't listening to what I was saying.
You really are an idiot, Phil. I was listening, but it doesn't mean I was going to do it. And you never listened to what I was trying to tell you. But I'm so glad you found a way to shift blame to someone else for this.
Please, I really am sorry for all of this.
I don't want to hear it from you, Phil. But now you'll have to deal with your actual mom here. And we'll see if you treat her the same way that you treated me with all of your nagging and hurtful words. Just being gay doesn't absolve you of being a man, Phil. And worse than that, it's clear that you're just still a boy who wants a mommy but not his mommy.
Don't you go trying to psychoanalyze me. It was only that I couldn't find the words to really get my point across.
And so you came up with stuff about your mom instead? I'm afraid that Freud would have a field day with that one. But you just kept comparing me to your mom because you wanted someone who would do everything for you without a single word of protest, am I right?
You're right. About everything. I'm sorry. I promise to never act this way again. Just please forgive me. Please, come home.
I will not.
So then you really want to get a divorce with me? But it's not like I cheated on you or hit you or anything like that.
Well, first of all, you did pour beer all over me because, in your own words, I wasn't listening to you.
Well, but You're right. I'm so sorry.
Is that all you can say for yourself? Do you have no sense of shame for what you did? I have no idea how you could act the way you did without a second thought. You might not have injured me physically, but you still hurt me.
Well, it's never ever going to happen again. I swear it. I was just acting out is all.
Acting out? Well, at least that we can agree on. You were acting exactly like a spoiled child would. I didn't marry someone so that I could be their babysitter.
Randy, please. I know that I've been a complete idiot this week, but my mom has been driving me crazy this week and I can't stand her anymore. You were so much better to have around and I'm sorry for taking you for granted. So then you forgive me. You'll come home?
You did, but I am not about to just forgive you for all of that.
But why? I said that I'm sorry. I apologized, didn't I?
I told you that you needed to start handling more of your own business. And yet any time I went against you, you were ready to put me down right away. Well, I have my limits and I have been pushed way past them. I've been doing a lot of thinking this week myself.
But I need you. How am I supposed to live without you? I promise to never be mean to you ever again.
Then just sign the divorce papers and send them off. That would be the nicest thing you could do for me.
No, anything but that, please.
I'm not going to look after you anymore. You want your mommy? Well, now she's living with you. I need a man who isn't afraid to take care of himself and his partner. Now, goodbye. After that, something snapped in Phil, and he finally agreed to sign the divorce papers. I actually never got along with Phil's mother, so when she heard we were splitting up, she was just overjoyed. I'll admit that when we first met, I thought that Phil being a mama's boy made him somewhat cute and vulnerable. Little did I realize that it was a cover for deeper personal issues that he had yet to work through. Even after the divorce, I still received texts from him begging me to save him from his mother, but I merely ignored them. It's true, Phil never cheated or hit me, but I knew that our marriage was never going to work out. Perhaps there's a lesson in here about being careful what you wish for, or not taking people for granted. But I think the most important lesson here is to not think that being more in touch with your feelings exempts you from being responsible for acting on them without thinking.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Hey Yvette, long time no see. I heard you got married, sis. Could it really be? Why didn't you tell me? That's like so not cool.
Oh, hi. It's been a while, Timson. Why are you messaging me out of the blue all of a sudden?
Didn't I just say? You got married, right? Why didn't you tell me anything?
I did tell Mom and Dad, but they just told me, to quote them, to do whatever the hell I please. I can't say I was too interested in carrying on the conversation. I mean, come on, sis. We haven't seen each other or spoken in years. Why would I go out of my way to tell you about my wedding?
How could you be so cold? I'm your little sister. In spite of that, I haven't heard a peep out of you in years, and if that's not bad enough, you kept your damn wedding of all things a secret from me? You're just making me sad here, sis.
You feel sad? You've got some nerve. Did you forget about everything you did to me?
Huh? What are you talking about? Did I do something to you?
Are you seriously telling me you don't remember? You've been stealing all of my things since we were barely out of our pushchairs. It only started out as toys, and I mean, fine, whatever. Kids will be kids. I wouldn't have a problem if it stopped there, but when we grew up, you escalated to stealing my favorite clothes and bags. Then, in middle and high school, you moved on to stealing my boyfriends. Even after that, you kept stealing my stuff. Nothing was safe. You took everything I worked so hard to buy myself with the money from my part-time job at the cafe. When I tried telling you to stop, you'd run off to Mom and tell her I was bullying you so she'd take your side.
Gee, sis, you still harping on about all that crap? Let bygones be bygones already. Sheesh! You're so petty. Anyway, I didn't do anything wrong, no matter how much you cry and complain. All I did was say I wanted your stuff. It was thanks to me constantly pestering Mom and Dad you got given so much stuff in the first place. So what if I have them? Something for me every now and then?
What? You can't be serious. You don't see the problem with crying and screaming and kicking up a fuss until Mom and Dad got so tired of you they gave you my things to placate you? Not only that, but you're the one who made moves on my boyfriends. You went out of your way to steal them from me.
Nuh-uh. I so did not. I know you're still bitter, but accept it, girl. They chose me over you, and that's all there is to it. If you actually think about it, you'll see it wasn't my fault. LOL, but if there's one thing I might be guilty of, it's being more beautiful than you.
Drop the act already. You were the one who went on the attack. You did it all on purpose. You know what hurt the most? Every time you succeeded in stealing something from me, you lost interest all of a sudden and threw it away. You went out of your way to throw my things in the trash when I was looking, to break up with my boyfriends right before my eyes. You'd condescendingly preach to me how you were entitled to throw away your things if you wanted to, but it was clear all you wanted to do was hurt me. You ridiculed and humiliated me at every opportunity. You made me feel like crawling into a hole and dying. I'll never forget what you did. Don't get me wrong, I'm fully aware Mom and Dad put you up to it half the time.
Wow, sis! You're an even bigger self-pitying loser than I thought. How can you have such a warped, twisted view of the world? Have you considered therapy? You're scary. You'll get even uglier at this rate if you're not careful. Have you considered thinking positively for a change? Negativity ages you, you know? Surely you have enough wrinkles already.
The point here is that I want absolutely nothing to do with you or the rest of my family ever again. I made that pretty clear to Mom and Dad when I told them I was getting married. To my astonishment, Mom was actually adult enough to respect that, and she agreed never to make contact again. You didn't seem to get the message, though. I know she told you.
Don't be so mean-spirited. You're my only sister in the world. I want to see your new husband. What's he like? I really wanted to go to the wedding, but thanks to you sulking, I had no idea where it was gonna be held.
That's funny. You say you wanted to go to my wedding, but I know you had no intention of celebrating or being happy for me.
I so did. Stop with this already. Your words, they cut me like a knife. Can you imagine though? If I actually did go to the wedding, I would have stolen the show. Everyone would have been talking about me. I just know it. I guess it probably would have sucked for you to be upstaged by your beautiful little sis on your wedding day.
I was right not to invite you. Even just the thought of it makes me feel ill on a visceral level. Honestly, you're the last person on earth I wanted to see there.
Whoa! Are you jealous? I can't pretend I don't get it though. If I was there, you would have been practically invisible on the most important day of your life. It was a good tactical move, I'll give you that. I'm not mad at you for not inviting me. Even a crusty loser like you should get to be in the spotlight at least once in her miserable life, right? And I so generously and benevolently didn't even try and track down the venue.
Whatever. You can think and say what you like. I want nothing more to do with you. Are you done now?
You really are cold. Let's face it. Any guy someone like you manages to bag isn't going to be anything special. He's the husband of a disappointing wrinkled hag in her 30s after all. Is he bald, fat, or some miserably old man who spends most of his life in an office cubicle getting shouted at by successful people? Maybe he's all three?
Yep, you hit the nail on the head, so you may as well just leave it alone.
I knew it. Enjoy your magic miserable lives together.
Tamsin! Stay away from my husband!
Huh? What's this about?
Don't play dumb with me. You've been sending messages to my husband on Peepbook.
Huh? So what? What's bad about that? Human beings talk to each other all the times. You know, it's a perfectly normal thing to do. Imagine getting upset over that. Cringe. You baffle me.
Which part is normal? I'm the one who's baffled. Your behavior makes no sense.
Use your head, pea-brain. Your husband equals my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law equals my family. It's perfectly normal for me to talk to my family on social media.
Surely that only applies to family you actually have anything to do with. Besides, even if it was normal, it's certainly not normal to send your brother-in-law pics of you in your underwear. If you think otherwise, I suggest you go get your head checked out.
Wait a second. You crap me up, you vet. Those aren't my panties. It's a bikini.
Panties or bikini, the surface area is the same. Hey, you big hunky stallion, do you think I look cute in these? Seriously, I want to vomit. No one in their right mind would send anything like that to their sister's husband.
You're overthinking this like you do everything else, and you have the gall to call me a head case? I didn't mean anything by it. It was just a bit of lighthearted fun. Take a chill pill. Ah, I get it. You're losing your mind because you think I'm gonna steal your husband, aren't you? I mean, I guess it makes sense. Let's face it, you're never gonna come out on top in a contest between me or you.
Do you never get bored of this? Just give it a break already. Your very existence disgusts me more than words can describe.
Whoa, scary. Who says stuff like that? Does your husband have any idea what a deranged psycho you are? You're a real nasty piece of work. You should be locked up. I feel kind of bad for him. Did he know what he was getting himself into? I fear for your married life together. Should I send in a rescue team? LOL.
He knows me better than any of my actual family do. So, thanks, but we don't need your concern. That's why we got married.
But you know you and him aren't a good match, don't you? You'll never last. I know, sis. How he's tall, dark, and handsome. How he's on 6 figures in a management role at a major company. My friend told me, and I told Mom. Wanna know what she said? That a young beauty like me is far more suitable for a high-spec guy like him. I agree, he's wasted on you.
Maybe it does look like we're a mismatch from the outside, and you know what? Think what you want. I don't care. We got married because we love each other. You can try and tempt him all you like, but you're wasting your time.
Is that a challenge? You do remember how every single boyfriend you've ever had broke up with you for me, right? You should be more careful about what you say. I hate to break this to you, honey, but your husband replied saying he wants to meet me. Surprise, surprise! He chose the young beauty over the dried-up hag.
Is that so? I'm happy for you to think that.
Yep, that is so. Looks like you have some preparations to make.
Preparations? For the divorce?
I've decided I'm gonna go through with it. Me and him are going to get married. After all, me taking away everything you hold dear has become somewhat of a family tradition. It'd be a shame if not to keep it alive. Seems like your husband's fully on board with that too. You wouldn't want to stand in the way of the man you love getting what his heart truly desires, would you?
I see. Do you really want him that badly?
Yep, I want. I'm so much better suited to him. He's gonna be the happiest man on earth with me in his arm.
I see. Fine. Leave it with me. I'll send everything over.
Huh? What the? I thought you'd be mad. Why are you going along with it so readily? Is it because you're putting your husband's happiness first?
Discussing anything with you would only be a waste of time. Instead, I'm gonna give in and send you everything I own.
Woohoo! That escalated quickly. I'm shocked, sis, I gotta admit. It's actually kinda disappointing. Although, guys like him only come around once in a blue moon. Handsome and a high earner. I shouldn't complain, really. Tee. I'm happy to leave you alone and let you live out the rest of your years in lonely misery after this. So make sure you deal with the divorce proceedings ASAP, okay? Hey! What the heck? What's going on? Explain!
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? You know exactly what I mean, don't play dumb. I'm asking you what the heck you think you're playing at sending a load of garbage at my house?
But didn't you say you wanted all of my things? That's why I sent you all of my things.
What? What? Why would I want your trash? Have you lost your mind?
Come on, trash is taking it a bit far. It might not be brand new, but the TV is still watchable. And the furniture is still in pretty good condition. You have no idea how much of a help you've been. I had no idea what I was gonna do with all the furniture and appliances from when I lived on my own when I moved in with my husband. I was actually thinking of taking it to the landfill. Laws around recycling have gotten real strict lately, and it seemed like more trouble than it was worth. I couldn't believe my luck when you said you wanted it all. Thanks so much, Tamsin. You're a lifesaver.
Are you messing with me?
No, not at all. You said you wanted all of my stuff. So, I sent you all of my stuff. That's all.
I said I wanted your husband, not this crap. I never said anything about sending me a pile of trash, not even once.
But you see, my husband isn't a thing, nor is he stuff. He's a human being. I have no right to give him away like some possession. Besides, it's all still usable, so it's not trash.
Ugh! Just let me meet him. I don't know why, but your husband's P-book page disappeared since we last spoke and I can't message him anymore. I'm guessing you deleted it because you were panicking? If I can just meet him in person, he'll choose me. I just know it.
My husband's peep book page? Oh, that. Now that you mention it, he did say some weird woman, obviously trying to look younger than she is, sent him some disturbing pictures. Apparently, he blocked her straight away. He said they made him feel uncomfortable.
What? Weird? Trying to look younger than I am? Disturbing? My pictures made him feel uncomfortable? What? Are you making fun of me?
I mean, is he wrong? You might be younger than me, but you are 30 now. You're well past the age you can go around using your youth as a weapon. You call me a wrinkly old hag, but I'm only 2 years older than you.
Ugh, shut up! I've got you beat in every category. I get told I look like I'm in my early 20s all the time.
Ugh, this again. I've been wondering this for a while now. But have you ever heard of the term flattery?
Oh my god, what? What's gotten into you? You've been looking down your nose at me this whole time, haven't you? I don't need to hear this from the likes of you.
You are, of course, free to think what you like about yourself. I think it's healthy to have a positive self-image, even if it is contradicted by reality. By the way, my husband did actually say he wants to meet you.
Oh, he did? Really?
Yes, really. He said your disturbing behavior made him so curious that he wants to know whether you're that weird in real life, too.
What?
He said he wants to see the culprit behind the decade-long harassment campaign against me with his own eyes. He seemed genuinely amazed that someone like you is able to delude yourself that you're young or beautiful.
No, it's you two who are weird. You're the ones who are messed up. Come to think of it, it makes perfect sense. You're a nutcase, so he'd have to have a screw loose to have anything to do with you in the first place. Birds of a feather. He's probably just trying to defend his wounded pride because he knows deep down he'd never have a chance with me.
That's right. We're a pair of nutcases in love. I have to correct you, though. You seem to have things the wrong way around. You're the one who doesn't have a chance with him. Understand now? How about you just acknowledge it instead of trying to defend your wounded pride? You can't always have things your way.
Shut up. When I find a guy to marry, he's gonna be the real deal, the genuine article. He's gonna be tall, handsome, rich, funny, witty, charismatic, popular, rich, and have great taste in women. The kind of guy who'd even turn you down in your dreams.
You were disqualified at great taste in women. I wonder if you can really pull it off, though.
If a cave troll like you can find a husband, there's no way I can't.
The problem is, your only redeeming quality is your rapidly deprecating appearance. Besides that, maybe your youth? Even that's doubtful, though. Your personality is so rotten you'd give the devil a run for his money, and you're an unemployed shut-in who's barely even capable of housework. What do you bring to the table?
I can do housework. What other skills do I need besides that? That's the most important thing for a woman. Have you seen the statistics on how much money beautiful women make in their lifetimes compared to ugly ducklings like you? I have, and I know one thing. The good life is waiting for me.
But surely that only applies to beautiful women who take the time to reflect on themselves, learn skills, and become better people by enriching the lives of those around them. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say it probably doesn't apply to poisonous, naive layabouts who think they're really beautiful just because they're young, which they're not, who contribute nothing of value to anyone.
How could someone as ugly as you possibly understand?
No one escapes aging, and you're already 30. You can harp on about youth and beauty all you'd like, but there's no denying it. You're no spring chicken. You're past the point of being capable of begging a guy who's into young beauties. I hate to break this to you, but that ship left port, and it's never coming back.
Ugh, you're so annoying. Just shut up. You think you're so special because you got married? This is so went to your head.
I don't think I'm special at all. All I'm doing is telling the truth. Oh, yeah, by the way, I got a message from Mom. You were more reliable to us than that lazy good-for-nothing.
Huh?
She said you might have had a shot at marrying into wealth 5 years ago, but now you're just unwanted leftovers. She's completely useless. Despite being jobless, she barely even does housework.
No way, she didn't say that. Mom and Dad said I'm valuable to them simply by existing. Mom said I might still have a shot at marrying into money.
When was this? You see, the thing is, Mom and Dad are currently in the process of trying to cozy up to me because they say the thought of relying on you in their old age makes them anxious. To think they spent all these years spoiling you as their favorite. It's really quite ironic, isn't it? It made me laugh when they suddenly started trying to curry favor with me the moment they heard about my husband, despite the fact that they told me never to contact them again. You've had them wrapped around your finger for pretty much your entire life. And to be fair to them, they have looked after you. Make sure you see them through their old age in comfort, okay?
There's no way Mom and Dad would say those things about me. They'd never choose you over me. They always said I was their favorite, the beautiful daughter.
Fine, ask them yourself. Ask them who they'd rather looked after them in their old age. Will you believe it when you hear it straight from Mom and Dad themselves? Or are you too stubborn and thick-headed even for that?
The answer is obviously gonna be me. These are just lies and fantasies. Vicious lies and fantasies. It's always been obvious how Mom and Dad felt about you. You were a burden and a nuisance at best. Why would they do 180 all of a sudden now? They never loved you.
I'm glad they never loved me. The thought that I could have actually turned out like you, a self-obsessed narcissist who thinks the world revolves around them, makes me shudder. All I feel for you is pity. The only thing in this world you have to be proud of are your rapidly deprecating looks, and I pity you from the bottom of my heart.
I don't need your pity. The only one deserving of pity here is you, the withered old hag. Those parents never loved her.
There you go again. You talk about people as if their appearance is the only thing that matters. Love that expects some kind of reward isn't love at all.
Is this bold font all you've got? You really are pathetic. To think the woman who spent her entire life on the losing side, having everything she held dear stolen from her, would have the nerve to speak to me like that.
And yet you tried to steal this pathetic old hag's husband. What does that make you? Are my hand-me-downs the best you can do? How about you find someone with your own hard work, based on your own merit, who loves you for you? You know, like I did. The most important person in my life, who you're not capable of stealing. I found him with my own hard work and determination. There's not a single person on this planet who loves you for who you are because you're rotten to the core. You wasted your life playing malicious games to massage your overinflated ego. And where did it get you? You really are pathetic. Unable to cope with the thought of being rejected, apparently Tamsin went on the offensive against Mom and Dad, demanding they choose between me and her. Of course, Mom and Dad, who only judged books by their covers, chose me and my high-earning husband. That was the spark that started the fire, and before long, the entire street was woken up at 2 a.m. by the argument to end all arguments, which resulted in Mom and Dad booting her out. Unable to cope without a constant stream of praise and approval from others, Tamsin started working in the adult industry. But even that didn't last long. Competing for work with girls much prettier and younger than her, she was treated like used goods, found it impossible to stay afloat, and was forced to quit. Refusing to accept reality, she then applied for a series of high-class escort agencies. They all turned her down. How do I know this, you ask? She posted it all on her Peep Book page. Last I heard, she was etching out a living with money from the wallets of her multiple lovers and sugar daddies. But when I say etching out, I really mean it. She begs Mom and Dad to take her back on practically a daily basis. It seems like she didn't learn anything from what I told her at the end. I have a feeling she'll live out the rest of her days in self-absorbed ignorance and nothing will change. As for my parents, who initially had no interest in my wedding, They had a mysterious change of heart the moment Tamsin told them he was a high earner in a managerial role at a major company. Apparently, they tried to get Tamsin to convince him to marry her instead at first. But when they realized he had no interest in her online advances, they switched tactics to cozying up to me in an attempt to mend our troubled relationship. I've been working at a prestigious insurance company since I graduated college, and I bring in a decent salary myself. It must have finally dawned on them that I was infinitely more valuable to them than the long-term unemployed and impossibly selfish Tamsin. Obviously, I have no interest in having anything to do with them for as long as I live, so I got a new phone number, and me and our husband moved into our new place together. Naturally, I didn't tell them my new address, nor do I intend to. With that, the messages from them finally stopped, and me and my husband are enjoying our newly married life together. I don't need any of them in my life. The parents who raised me and my sister constantly comparing us and playing favorites, or the sister who made it her life's mission to steal everything I hold dear. From here on out, it's just me and my husband, who chose me and only me and loves me for who I am. We're currently in the process of trying to create a big, happy family, if you catch my drift.
Hey Zara, when's the next time you think you can come by? I'd like you to bring over a couple of pairs of clothes for me. Oh, and also like a bath towel too. Could you do that for me?
But I just came by last week. I don't have so much free time to just keep going all the time. I've got a lot on at the moment. I have my personal life too, you know. Besides, it takes me over 30 minutes to get to the hospital you're at. I'm pretty exhausted from having to sort out the insurance and paperwork for the hospital too. Can you wait a little longer?
Look, I get that, and thanks for doing it. But I've just broken both my legs in a traffic accident. Can you make me a bit more of a priority at least while I'm in hospital?
I have been doing that. Everything you have in your room right now is stuff that I brought over. And why do I have to bring you more clothes? You can borrow patient robes from the hospital.
Well, I know I can, but it looks like I'll be here for a while, so at the very least, I thought it'd be better to at least wear some stuff that I'm used to and comfortable in.
I'm not going to pamper you like that. Don't ask me for things you can do yourself or get the hospital to sort it out for you. You're not usually one to do this, Steve. I thought you were the kind of person who does whatever they can on their own.
That might be true when I can move on my own, but at the moment, that's not really the case. Now is different.
Okay. I'll post it over then. What? Do you have a problem with that? You should be grateful that I'm sending you the things that you want.
Look, Zara, when I first got hospitalized after the accident, you didn't come visit me for quite a while. And even now, I have to ask you to come see me. It'd be nice if you showed that you cared at least a little.
I do care, but it's not like you're going to get better any faster by me coming by.
Well, yeah. That might not help my physical injuries, sure. I felt that you've been becoming colder and colder towards me. And since the accident, it seems like it's getting worse and worse. Before, I'm sure you would have done whatever you could to help me out. I want to know, why have you been acting like this? Did I do something to upset you? I've tried my best to let you be as free as possible and do what you want.
What's this? Now you're going to scold me? You're going to put me in a bad mood with that, so stop it.
But I'm being serious. You really have changed a lot recently.
It's been 3 years since we got married. Of course people will change in that amount of time. It's not always going to be like it was when we were dating.
I know that.
Also, I'm going on a trip next week. So try not to message me with annoying requests. I don't want you to ruin my holiday.
You're going on a trip? You didn't tell me anything about that.
I just told you, didn't I?
I mean, it's fine and all for you to go on a trip, but do you really have to go right now?
Oh, you're starting to really annoy me with this. Not like you're sick and dying, so what's the problem? And you can barely move, so it's not like you can come home with me either.
Can you at least tell me where and who you're going with? I'm your husband, so I have the right to at least know that much.
Are you kidding? Talking to you really is exhausting. Well, it's getting too annoying to hide it, so I'll tell you. I'm going with another man.
What?
You get it now, don't you? There's someone else I like apart from you. That's why I don't have any interest or attachment to you anymore.
You've got to be kidding me. This has got to be some kind of cruel joke. Are you telling me you've been having an affair?
Yep. So, will you leave me alone?
You want to get a divorce?
That's right. I'll send the divorce papers along with the other things you asked for. Make sure you sign them. I wasn't planning to tell you while you were in the hospital because I felt bad for you. Then you just kept on complaining. So I thought I may as well do it now.
It's my fault.
I'm expecting you to split everything equally in the divorce too. Don't let me down.
Steve, how are you?
Hey Mark, you know, same old. Can't move from the bed. How was everything?
Not too bad on my end. How's your condition looking? Any changes?
Not really. But I'm just lucky to be alive, so I'm not complaining. I'm still unclear though whether I'll be able to walk again or not. Sorry about leaving all my work with you. And you're supposed to be moving back to your hometown next week.
That's fine. It's the least I can do to say thanks. You've done a lot to help me out in the last 2 years that we've been working together. Whenever I made a mistake, you always had my back. I'm glad I can do something to repay you before I go. Although I would have liked to keep working together.
I mean, it can't be helped. Your dad is sick, so you should go back and see him. I totally understand.
Thanks, Steve. I'm still going to be around for a few more days, so let me know if there's anything I can do for you in that time. I can bring things over for you if you need them.
Thanks. You're more helpful than my wife.
Oh? Did something happen between you and your wife?
I just found out she's been having an affair.
You're kidding!
So we're getting a divorce now too.
Oh, that's really terrible. I'm sorry to hear that, but how did you find out when she's been having an affair? I mean, you're in the hospital at the moment.
She told me herself that she's going on a trip with another man. Can you believe that?
What on earth? Who would admit it themselves?
That's what I thought too. Of course, finding out about the affair itself was a shock, but to have her tell me herself? She's also going to try to take half my assets in the divorce. That aside, I definitely want to find out who this other man is. I have been pretty down since being hospitalized, but now is not the time for that. I don't really like to be like this, but the news and my anger has kind of got me fired up. Oh, sorry for making you listen to me go on about this. I haven't quite fully processed it myself.
It's fine. I guess I'm also kind of lost for words.
Same here.
But is it good to think about that now? I mean, how do you plan on finding out who this other guy is while you're in the hospital?
Oh, I'll sort that out somehow.
Somehow?
Don't worry about that. I'm someone who can get things done when I put my mind to it. I've got enough savings right now to tide me over. Plus, I'll also get the compensation package from the accident. In any case, I'll end this my way.
I see. But make sure to look after your health first. Don't overdo it.
Thanks. I'm glad I've been lucky enough to work with someone like you. Zara! How long do you plan on ignoring me? I told you that I'll proceed with the divorce, so what's going on? Are you just gonna ignore me because you're on a holiday right now? I want to talk to you about the divorce settlement and splitting assets. So make sure to reach out once you see this. To the lawyer, I mean. I sent you the lawyer's number earlier. You're the one who proposed the divorce, so make sure you do your part. Sorry, I can't take calls in the hospital. It'll bother everyone else. What's up?
Steve, I have some bad news about your wife.
What? About Zara?
She passed away in an accident.
Huh? What, are you serious? What happened?
I know it's hard to believe, but the police just called the office. They said that there was an accident during her trip.
Come on, this isn't even funny as a joke. There's a time and a place for joking, Mark.
I wish it was a joke. Apparently, she was holidaying somewhere by the sea and, while walking on some rocks or cliffs, fell into the sea. They found her things nearby.
I don't believe this.
I'm sorry, but that's what they said.
Oh my god.
I understand that you want to think it's not the truth, but it is.
Hold on a sec. I can't think straight right now.
I understand. It was someone you loved, and you had your mind full of the divorce too. It must be tough.
No, that's not what I mean. I don't understand. Why would the police call the company? Normally they would have contacted me first.
That's true. I'm not sure why that is.
I didn't hear anything from my parents either. They surely would have contacted me already. Even if I'm in the hospital, the police should always contact the family first.
I really don't get it either.
Could it be that you're being tricked?
What do you mean?
Who did you talk to on the phone? Was it a man or a woman?
Actually, I wasn't the one who spoke to them. I heard it from somebody else at the office.
Wait, why were you at the office anyway? Last week was your last week, wasn't it?
I just had a few last things to do to take care of there, so I just dropped by to do that. I didn't really find out the details, but the fact that your wife passed away is the truth.
How can you be so sure?
I mean, that's what the police said after all.
The pieces don't really fit based on what you're saying, though. I get that she fell from some rocks into the sea, but they haven't found her body, right?
It doesn't seem so.
And they found her belongings nearby. But would the police really declare her dead from just that?
I don't really know how it works. Even if you ask me, I don't know.
Oh, right, you didn't actually talk to them directly. Okay, I'll phone the office and see what happened. Who did you hear the news from?
Let's see. Who was it? Sorry, but I was just so shocked by the news that I can't really remember who told me.
That's fine, I'll just talk to the director. He'll definitely know what's going on.
Hold on a second, let me take care of it. Just wait for me to get back to you. You're in the hospital after all. Leave it to me.
Mark, you're lying to me, aren't you?
What? Of course not. Why would I do something like that? There's nothing for me to gain by lying about this.
I've worked with you for 2 years. I know your idiosyncrasies. Whenever you messed up on work, you would do the same thing to try and cover it up. I don't know, I don't remember. I heard it from somebody. I've heard those phrases many times from you. You always just come out with some vague excuses.
Really? Do I do that? I don't remember ever having done that, though.
See, there it is. Hey, Mark, could it be that you're the one who Zara's been cheating on me with?
Are you kidding me? Of course not. Steve, you're not making any sense.
Which one of us isn't making sense? It's gonna all be sorted out by either calling the police or the office. But you didn't seem to want me to do that. Come on, Mark. If you're not the other man, why lie about this? No response? Well, I'll take that as the answer.
Hey, what are you trying to do here? Why did you tell my parents I cheated on you? Why are you getting them involved in this? I can't believe you.
Oh, so you were still alive after all.
Is there something with that?
I mean, you went to all the trouble to lie and pretend that you died on your trip. So I really didn't think you would be the one to contact me. But then when the police really called me, I got a real shock. They only wanted you to come pick up your stuff that you had left by the sea, though. You guys really didn't do a great job of faking your death.
Shut up! Who cares about that now?
It's still pretty important, I think. Did you think that wouldn't get found out immediately? I really don't know what was going on through yours and Mark's minds.
You're the one at fault here. If you hadn't kept up your annoying grumbling and kept trying to make me bring you things in the hospital, I wouldn't even have said anything about the affair. Mark got angry at me for telling you, so we thought we'd try something.
And that's what you came up with. Zara, let me tell you. It's better for you to live your life without using your head too much. It doesn't work very well for you. It'll just lead you to trouble if you try to use it too much.
You're going to make fun of me now? Then you must be the real idiot for marrying me. Falling in love with someone when they show you just the smallest bit of kindness. I only married you because you have a good job, and I figured I'd have a relaxing time staying at home while you worked. And you didn't even realize that for over 3 years. That's why as soon as you told me that you might not be able to walk again after the accident, I thought about divorcing you. And here we are now. If you can't make money anymore, what use do I have for you?
You're right, I really am a bad judge of character. I would never have expected that you'd be having an affair with Mark. But I'm glad that it all came to light in the end. Imagine if this happened after we'd had a kid. then they would also be dragged into this mess.
That would never have happened. Do you really think I want to have a child with someone as ugly as you? Mark is different, though. He's younger and far more handsome than you. He's definitely got promise. If I'm going to have a kid, it'll definitely be with him.
I guess you really are horrible through and through. Well, I'm glad I can see that now. This will make the court case for alimony a breeze. Thanks, you two, for making things up on your own end so badly. You really helped me out.
Look, about the alimony. I'll pay up, but in return, can you fix that fact that you told my parents about the affair?
Why should I do that?
My parents are both really angry at me. I told them it wasn't the truth, but they won't believe me at all. They basically want to wash their hands of me and cut ties.
I'm glad that your parents at least have a decent moral compass. But I'm not going to change anything that I told him. You're going to have to pay their alimony no matter what. I don't need to do you any favors to get it. Could you even keep it a secret anyway? I bet you're going to have to ask them to help you pay up anyway.
Nope, I have enough money to pay on my own.
There's no way you do.
Why do you say that?
I bet you were thinking about the money I got from insurance and compensation for the accident, right? Well, hate to break it to you, but I gave my sister authorization, and she took all the money out as my proxy. You didn't even think to check the bank accounts?
There's no way.
Yeah, there is. Go on, take a look. When I told my sister what happened, she took time off work and got over here as soon as she could. Even though it takes her 3 hours from where she lives. I hired a private investigator to look into you and Mark and see what's going on with the two of you. I found out that you're both living together in a really fancy apartment. I'm a bit worried about how you even plan to pay for such a place seeing as you're both unemployed.
Hold on. What do you think you're doing? A private investigator? Really? There's no way I'll be able to pay the alimony now.
I'm sure Mark will help you out. If you were planning on a divorce, you should have thought about the chance of paying alimony. And to think you were going to use my money from the accident to live with him. You two really are out of your minds.
Wait, then what about splitting the assets? I'm still going to get something from that.
Yeah, once the divorce has been finalized, you'll get something. But that's only if you accept that you have to pay the alimony.
No way. How am I supposed to live until then?
Don't ask me. That's a question for Mark. Remember, he's a better man than me, right? With lots of promise for the future, so I'm sure he'll be fine.
Well, Mark doesn't have that much in his savings.
I'm not surprised. He did always spend his money on useless things. But that's just like you. I guess you guys are a perfect fit. Anyway, make sure you call my lawyer afterwards. They should have sent a bunch of paperwork to the apartment you're in now. Make sure you read them more carefully before contacting the lawyer.
Oh, wait, hold on. This is really going to cause me a lot of trouble. Look, we lived together for 3 years, right? Don't you have any feelings about that time? Don't be so hard on me here.
You really have some guts saying something like that. I'm here in hospital with the possibility of never walking again, and you couldn't care less about me. I have no attachment and no interest in you at all. Those are your words, by the way. You feel the same, remember? Luckily, we both feel like the same way now.
Steve, I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry.
Oh, you have some nerve texting me.
I'm sorry. I've really thought over what I did. I admit that I was cheating with Zara, but can't you reduce the amount of alimony?
Didn't you hear from my lawyer? He should have told you that I have no intention of doing that.
He did say that, but I thought that maybe if I asked you directly, you would think about lowering it at least a little bit. I mean, I know that you're a kind person, but all of a sudden you become really cruel in this situation. Zara said you blocked her number too, so she hasn't been able to get through to you.
Listen here. My cheating wife and the man she cheated on me with. I may be kind, but I'm not kind enough to show people like you any leniency here. I was nice to you as my co-worker. Now we don't have any sort of connection at all.
How can you say that? I had to tell my parents about this too? Oh, why did you have to go so far? My poor old dad's blood pressure has gone through the roof. He's even sicker than he was before.
Does that have something to do with me? You're the one that caused this.
That may be the case, but
And anyway, there's nothing wrong with your dad. He's not sick at all. Are you really gonna keep lying?
what do you mean?
I got a message from your dad apologizing for your actions. At that time, I really did feel bad about his health, especially since he didn't do anything bad himself. So I asked him how he was feeling. He told me that he's as healthy as ever and hasn't had any problems recently at all.
He said that, did he?
You texted me trying to apologize and say that you thought about your actions. But instead, you just come out with more and more lies. Don't you see that you just keep digging yourself a deeper hole each time you do this?
In that case, I'll tell you the truth. But please, think about lowering the alimony payments.
I don't see why I should do that.
I can't stand Zara. Before we lived together, she was always friendly and had a smile on her face. She'd also take the trouble to do things for me too. But now she's changed entirely. She does nothing around the house, and even though she knows we have to pay a lot for the apartment, she refuses to work. And I myself am still in the process of looking for a job. I feel like I'm losing my mind with her. Plus, she's using up all of my savings carelessly on useless things.
Yep, that sounds about right. I was just too late in realizing. You're lucky you noticed so soon.
I'm not lucky at all. She doesn't have anywhere to go home to since her parents refuse to talk to her anymore. So I'm stuck with her. I'd like to get away from her if possible, but my dad said that if I run away now, he'll never forgive me.
I see. Thanks, Mark. Honestly, I feel like I owe you some gratitude.
Why do you say that?
It would have been dangerous to just let a horrible woman like her free. But now that the two of you pieces of trash are together, all good people can rest a little easier. I'm sure she'll stick around for a while before she finds a new man. That's the kind of woman she is.
Steve, please, I'll do anything. So, could you please just let this slide? I'll find some way to make it up to you, so please, forgive me.
Okay, fine. I forgive you.
Really? You will?
Just kidding, there's no way I'd do that.
What?
Have fun living with Zara. Just make sure to keep up on your payments. Have a good life. After that, we finalized the divorce and reached a settlement. Zara didn't have enough money to pay for alimony, so it had to come out of what she would have received in the divorce. In the 3 years we were married, she didn't work or manage to save much money at all. Because of that, she ended up with barely anything at the end of the divorce proceedings. Apparently, when the two of them tried to pretend as though Zara had fallen into the sea, they did something even more stupid than lie to me. It turns out that Mark called the police pretending to be a witness himself. Giving the police false information is a crime, and he was questioned and finally fined for it. To be honest, I think of myself as being a little bit pathetic for having the wool put over my eyes by people as stupid as those two. But I'm relieved that I was somehow able to bring this mess to a close. I was discharged from the hospital, but I currently have to get around with the help of a wheelchair. My work was kind enough to find a way for me to do everything I need from home, so that has made it much easier on me. Although I was told I may never walk again, feeling has started to return to my legs bit by bit, depending on how rehabilitation goes, but there is now a chance I'll be able to walk on my own 2 feet again. I was completely shocked by Zara's betrayal and the sudden divorce. But if things had remained as they were, I would have just been exploited by her for the rest of my life. If I think about it like that, I really do feel somehow grateful to Mark for taking Zara away from me. From now on, I'm going to focus on my rehabilitation and think of my health as my #1 priority. And while keeping in mind my family who helped me through this tough time, as well as my company and co-workers who made it possible for me to work from home. I'm going to take back control of my life. Slowly, but surely.
Hi, Grace. I never got the chance to thank you for all your help at our wedding. Thanks to you, it went perfect.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh, and your speech was wonderful.
I wish Joan's dad was with us to make the speech. If he was alive, he would have made a better one.
Yours was great. My parents were very touched.
The wedding was a lot more compact than I expected.
Well, we both don't like to be the center of attention. So we only invited close family and kept the crowd as small as possible.
A big and gorgeous stage would have been misfit for you anyway. So I guess a compact wedding was suited for you.
You're totally right. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to wear a wedding dress.
But you did in the end.
Yes, because my grandmother really wanted to see me in one. So I thought I'd give it a try. But I chose a very simple design. I didn't want anything too fancy.
Yes, I think you chose right. Sorry to be blunt here, but you wouldn't look good in something fancy.
I agree. I was glad everyone enjoyed it though.
Anyway, I never would have thought my son would choose someone like you.
Oh, I know, me neither. He's very handsome, which he must have gotten from you. Anybody would assume he'd choose someone pretty.
All of his exes were very pretty. He even dated a girl who won a beauty trophy.
Oh, I'm not surprised. Good-looking people must attract other good-looking people. I wish I could be a part of that.
The reason why he became attracted to you is probably because of that positivity of yours.
I think so. He said he becomes more lively when I'm with him.
I see. Oh, I forgot to mention that next month there's a big family gathering. Why don't you two come?
Nice! Are we celebrating something?
Yes, there's a family member who's turning 100 years old. She's Joan's grandfather's sister, which makes her Joan's great aunt.
Wow, a great aunt? I did meet John's grandfather at our wedding. He is a very fashionable gentleman.
He has 7 siblings. The eldest is turning 100.
What is John's grandfather's birth order?
The last? That's why the two are quite far apart in age.
I bet!
Anyway, we have a banquet room booked at a hotel for the celebration.
A banquet room? Wow!
You should come and say hello. Most of the family weren't invited to the wedding, so you haven't had the chance to meet them. This would be a great opportunity.
I agree. I'll check the date with John. Just to confirm, are you sure I'm invited?
I will let the host know. Everyone should be aware that John got married, so I'm sure it won't be a problem.
Oh, thank you. I look forward to seeing everyone.
Good. I hope you get along with everyone. How was the gathering for you last night? You seemed quite nervous.
Good morning. Oh, yes, I was very nervous to meet everyone. And I was astonished. How come everyone in the family is so good looking?
I know. I was surprised when I joined the family as well. Everyone has a very pretty face.
It made my heart race. I felt completely out of place.
Right? You would actually stand out among such good-looking people, as in a bad way.
I think I kinda did.
Makes you lose your confidence, doesn't it? You must have felt alien, or even miserable. Maybe. Do you regret that you got married into this family?
I mean, I was a little embarrassed, but I didn't feel alien.
Are you sure? You don't have to act strong.
I'm sure. Because everyone was so nice to me. The younger member of the family went out for more drinks afterwards. We all became good friends. We were calling each other by nicknames by the end of the night. Or should I say, by the morning? We stayed out so long, I just woke up.
Huh? You became that close with them? With my family?
Yes, we exchanged contacts and everything. We also created a group chat. I'm so glad you asked me to join the gathering.
That's not right.
Beg your pardon?
That's not right. Why did you get close to them?
What? Grace, what's wrong?
You do not fit in the family. A decent person would realize and want a divorce. How the hell can you not see someone as ugly as you don't belong?
Ugly?
I'm referring to you. Why is my son married to such a pig? You're not welcomed.
Oh, Grace, calm down.
How did you do it?
Huh?
I'm asking you how you tricked my son to marry you. Surely you had to. Do you have something on him?
What? No. We're together because we fell in love. I had never tricked him. How could I have that kind of technique? My experience with men are so limited.
I don't believe you. That can't be. Who would fall in love with a person like you? You're ugly. You give me chills. What did you do to marry John? I refuse to accept you as my daughter-in-law.
Wow. So the truth comes out. I didn't know you thought of me that way. I mean, I did know that you always kept your distance, but I see now that you never liked me.
When first John introduced you to me, I was so shocked that I nearly fainted. I couldn't help but wonder if John was having issues with his vision.
I do realize that my appearance is far from attractive, but John loves me for who I am inside.
If you know that, you're unattractive. How can you allow yourself to be with John? Get a divorce.
I don't want to do that. You might not believe this, but we are very happy together. Everyone in the family said that John seems much happier than before. You heard them too, didn't you?
That's only because he's still excited about being a newlywed. It will die down in a matter of time. Then he will deeply regret he married an ugly person like you.
Oh, well, I don't know.
I am. He'll regret it for sure. If John doesn't want a divorce now, so be it. For now, though. You must be perfect at housekeeping. You're not good enough to be his wife, so at least be sure to take care of all the chores. That's the only thing you can provide him.
Housekeeping?
Duh, that's the least you can do.
Okay. I'm not very good at housekeeping, but I'll do my best.
Excuse me?
Hi, Grace, what is it? Is something wrong?
Yes, something is very wrong. I heard from John's cousin. Is it true that you're making John cook?
Oh, that.
Have you forgotten what I said to you? An ugly pig like you making my son do chores? It's unbelievable.
We help each other with chores since we both work. Surely I can't manage everything on my own.
That's your responsibility. My poor baby, get a divorce, now. He comes home tired from work and you make him go through all that? The wife should take care of all the chores. Why are you working anyway? You should be a full-time housewife and support your husband.
Actually, truth be told, John is the full-time homemaker now.
Excuse me?
John stays at home as the homemaker, and I go out to work as the breadwinner.
What are you talking about? You're talking gibberish? John is a sales executive at a trading firm.
Yes, but he actually became sick from overworking. So he left the firm when we got married. That's why he cooks dinner and does other house chores.
What? Why have I not heard about this? This is very significant news. I don't understand why this was kept from me.
Probably because he didn't want to tell you.
Why?
I mean, your reaction is imaginable. You would say something like, be a man, blah blah. Your ideology is so biased and outdated.
I beg your pardon?
Well, John's actions speak the truth, right? He hasn't told you, so he must not trust you.
What do you know about my son? Don't you speak like you know everything.
John has sometimes spoken about you, and they were mostly negative.
What? How so?
That you were a lazy, stay-at-home mom. You never worked and yet spent so much of what your husband had earned without even doing any house chores. And that you were an arrogant, unlikable person.
John said that?
Yes, he did to me. So I think that John may not like you that much, Grace.
That can't be. You're lying to me. You're lying to me about everything, including that you're the breadwinner. You're trying to deceive me.
No, it's the truth. I am in a directive position of an international firm. I make plenty to pay for the both of us.
That's not reason enough for my son to be a homemaker.
John didn't like working in an organization. He really hated his environment where he had to show up at this office every day. He worked for his living, but one day his heart couldn't tolerate it anymore. There was even a time when he physically could not take a step forward while he was headed to his office.
It was that bad for him?
Yes, it was. When I first met him, he was not in a good condition. We became close because I was giving him advice about work. Once we started dating, we realized that we were a good fit because we kind of supplemented each other. So, we got married and agreed that John would be the homemaker.
That's why he chose you?
The current lifestyle suits him. He seems much happier nowadays.
You, a director at an international firm? Do you think I can actually believe that?
I don't mean to boast or anything, but I am really good at what I do. My professional background helped me hit it off with your family too, you know?
What do you mean?
Remember the family gathering you invited me to the other day? Well, a few of us began to talk about work, and it really sparked the conversation. I was like a consultant that night. Some asked me for advice and all. See, that's one of the reasons why I was able to get along with your family.
You pig! No, it can't be true. I don't believe any of this.
Oh, well, that's too bad. If you don't want to believe it, so be it. I didn't want to, but I will let John know of our conversations. I don't think I can tolerate you calling me a pig any longer anyway.
Everyone is out of their minds. Why does everyone have your back? Why am I the one getting scolded?
I heard you got told off by some of your family. What did you expect after being so disrespectful to me? Just because you're my mother-in-law doesn't give you the right to say things like that.
How the hell did you trick everyone to like you? You just got married to John. You're new.
Oh, did I never tell you? I am really talented at that. I'm very likable. It's important for me to be able to build a good relationship with people, not only for work, but also for my personal life. I'm quite proud to say this skill helped me to become a director regardless of my young age.
I was even told that I should be begging you for forgiveness. How can this be?
Wow, I guess I really am loved. John was furious about all you had to say to me. From my perspective, it's very sweet of someone to become so emotional for me.
Everyone is a traitor. When I first joined the family, everyone was nice to me. They treated me so well, saying how glad they were to see such a pretty bride.
Yes, but you have an ugly personality. And people get used to seeing a pretty face after a while.
Who are you calling ugly? Someone as ugly as you can't call someone else ugly.
You know, people try to avoid something unattractive. In my case, my personality made up for my unattractiveness, so I always had people around me. In your case, though, your face wasn't enough to make up for your personality. That's why no one is around you anymore. That's how ugly your personality is.
Shut your mouth, you pig.
John is very disappointed in you. He said he didn't want to contact you anymore, or even see you.
What? He can't cut me loose like that. You don't mean he's leaving his old mother?
Honestly, we both don't want anything to do with you. It's so unfortunate. All your family are so nice. How did you end up like that?
Don't talk to me like you know better. I will not take that from you.
See, that's what I mean by ugly personality. You think you can say anything just because you're pretty? Well, you should know, life is not that easy.
Are you scolding me? A petty girl like you?
You may be older, but clearly I am much more aware of how the world works. You should feel ashamed you are getting scolded by someone younger than you. I hope one day your heart and face balances out. Grace was not able to redeem herself from her bad reputation in the family. On the contrary, John and I became even closer with the other family members. Grace couldn't stand it, so she stopped contacting everyone, hoping that somebody would worry and eventually call her, but no one did. Grace became desperate and wrote a letter to John, claiming he should be worried about her. The only way she could contact him was through a letter because he was ignoring all her messages. But that letter too was torn and thrown away by John. Soon after, our address changed, so we stopped receiving letters. Recently, most of our family has forgotten about Grace, and I am living happily with John.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Hey, Noah? Mom just told me that you moved into our house, but is that true?
Yeah, that's true. Why? You don't want me in your house?
No, it's not like that. I was just surprised because it was so sudden. What's the matter?
There's nothing wrong with me moving in, is there? I'm your brother, Lena. I want you to help me move my stuff into the house, but you were out on a business trip. I would have liked a more helpful sister.
Well, it's your fault for not telling me earlier.
It's my own house. I should be able to come back to my home anytime.
I'm not blaming you or anything, don't get me wrong.
What's your problem then?
Jennifer, your wife also moved in with you, right?
Of course. Why wouldn't she?
We're gonna be living together, Noah. Didn't she say anything about it?
No, not at all. She was happy that she no longer has to pay rent.
I hope you guys are at least gonna pay for your own living expenses.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about your food expenses and electricity bills.
Huh? We're a family, but you're asking us to pay for ourselves? I never paid them when I lived with mom and dad before I moved out.
You were a student back then. I pay for my own living expenses too now that I graduated and started working.
It's just the two of us. There wouldn't be much different.
No, this is a big problem. First of all, I don't think you paid back the $50,000 which you borrowed from mom and dad.
I'll pay them back someday.
You say that all the time. You spend all your money on gambling and you never learn from your mistakes. I know you visit us from time to time so that you can borrow money from mom and dad. Whenever you use up all your money, you come back home and steal our savings from the cupboards. You're as awful as a criminal robbing our family.
You call your own brother a robber?
Am I wrong, Noah? You're doing the exact same thing as a robber. You have a wife, can't you be more responsible?
Shut your little mouth. How about you worry about yourself, not me?
Why should I be worried about myself?
You're over 30 without a husband or a boyfriend, and you live with your parents. Are you aware of your own situation? Try comparing yourself with others your age.
So what? Am I causing any trouble to anyone?
Mom's definitely worried about you. We're worried about you ending up alone when they get older.
You're worrying Mom more than me. She's always worried that you might steal their money whenever they leave the house.
I'll never steal again. If I move into your house, I won't have to pay for the rent.
Noah, I've been telling you that accepting you into our house doesn't mean we'll support all your living expenses too.
Lena, why are you so annoying? Oh, I get it now. You're worried that I'll take over the house. Come on, just admit your fears.
Huh?
I'm the son, the first child of mom and dad, right? So it's natural for me to inherit this house after their death, which means that you're technically living in my house.
You've been thinking like that all this time?
That's the truth, Lena. Just admit it.
Okay, now I understand how you really feel about the house. You have no idea.
You're the ignorant one. Don't you ever think you're better than me just because you've always been living with mom and dad. I'll kick you out of the house very soon. You should be embarrassed for living with your parents at your age.
I don't get why you aren't embarrassed of yourself moving back in with selfish reasons at your age.
I've experienced so many hardships living alone, Lena. You haven't left the house even once. You're an embarrassment, you know that?
Let's end it here. I'm gonna tell you one last time that you have to pay for your own living expenses if you're moving into our house. Don't depend on mom and dad with everything.
Hey, Lena, your room is the biggest, right?
Yeah, so what?
Your room used to be mine. Now that your brother is home, don't you think you should give me back my room?
You can't just move in and demand me to give back your room.
Jennifer and I share the smallest room in the house. Why do you get to live in the largest room alone? It doesn't make any sense.
You both only use the room to sleep, but I have work to do at home, so I prefer staying in a larger room.
We also want a large room, Lena. Can we exchange rooms? We get your room and you get ours?
Huh?
You understand that we don't have enough rooms, right?
We have enough rooms. Mom and Dad's room, you and Jennifer's room, and my room. I think it's enough.
What are we going to do if our baby is born? Jennifer and I can share the room with the baby when the baby's young, but we'll need another room when the baby gets older.
You're really planning to take over our house.
Of course, it's my house.
To be exact, it's not your house.
For now it's not, but in the near future, it will. You should start getting ready to leave the house.
Why are you telling me that?
Jennifer's worried if you're going to continue living with us. She feels uncomfortable around you, you know. You should be aware that you're not welcome in this house. I guess you're still single because you're ignorant and lack consideration. What an evil sister I have.
If you don't want to live with me, why did you move into our house in the first place? You knew that I was living with Mom and Dad, right?
We assume that you'll leave once we move in. Aren't you uncomfortable as well?
You assumed that I would leave? How ignorant and inconsiderate. I heard that Jennifer doesn't do anything while Mom does all the housework.
Mom's better at housework than Jennifer, so I don't see any problem.
It's definitely a problem. If you guys are not going to pay for your living expenses, at least do some housework. I'm talking about you too, Noah. Both you and Jennifer should help with housework.
Ugh, Lena, stop being so annoying. How about you? Are you helping Mom with the housework?
I make breakfast for them every morning. I also pay for my living expenses, unlike you.
I bet being single gives you extra time and money. How sad to be single.
Noah, don't you ever think that you can always depend on Mom and Dad?
Don't you ever think you can always live in this house, Lena. I'm not asking you to find a husband. It's not so hard to find a new house, is it? Just leave the house as soon as possible. But I'm warning you beforehand, okay? This is a warning, Lena. I'm not going to accept any complaints from you, all right?
Noah, did you enter my room without telling me? Stop it right now. Get out of my room.
Hey, did Mom tell you about it?
Stop doing whatever you want in our house. You're causing so much trouble.
Then just leave the house. That would solve everything.
How many times do I have to tell you that I won't leave?
Why don't you understand, Lena? You seem like you don't understand your position in this house, so I decided to take action.
Take what action?
I moved your stuff to the garage so you don't have a room anymore. Mom's too nice to tell you this, but you're the one causing them trouble, being single and not leaving the house. Stop depending on Mom and Dad. Just leave already.
Noah, let me tell you, we don't own the house. I think you're misunderstanding.
It's not our house? What do you mean?
We had to sell it to pay back your debts. Dad no longer owns the house. There's nothing you can inherit now, Noah.
You sold the house? Then why are we still living here? Stop making up stories just because you don't want me to inherit the house.
We pay the rent to live here.
Are you serious? What are we gonna do? Who's gonna pay when Dad gets older and is unable to pay?
Oh, about that. There's nothing to worry about. We're gonna pull down our house soon. This is our temporary house until it gets pulled down. There wouldn't be any rent to pay when we no longer have a house.
Pull the house down? Why didn't you tell me earlier about such an important thing?
It's your fault for moving in so suddenly with selfish reasons.
Where's Mom and Dad gonna live after the house is pulled down? They're gonna be moving somewhere else, right?
Yeah, they'll move with me into my new house.
I guess we'll join you guys then.
Huh? Why?
We currently live with Mom and Dad, so it's natural for us to move into their new house.
Did you see what I just texted you? Mom and Dad are moving into my house. It's not Mom and Dad's house. Why would I have to let you and Jennifer live in my house?
That's ridiculous. What are we supposed to do then?
What would I know? You better start looking for a new house to live in. The house is going to be pulled down next month.
We don't have enough time.
We didn't have any time to prepare when you guys moved in so suddenly. When you took away my room, you told me to find a new place to live. I guess it's your turn now. I thought you were the one who said it's not so hard to find a new house. You kicked me out of my room. Why would I accept you to live in my new house? I warned you, Noah. I think you should find a new house to live in with Jennifer.
Lena, why did you leave us?
I said I won't let you both live in my house. There's not enough space for you and Jennifer.
Even so, how can you just move out leaving us homeless? I thought we were a family.
Says you, who never paid back $50,000 to his parents and stole money from the house. Plus, you suddenly moved back into our house because of your selfish reasons, believing that you would soon inherit the house. I'll never forget how you moved all my stuff to the garage and kicked me out of the room.
I thought we owned the house.
That doesn't mean you can do whatever you want. Do you understand how much trouble you caused for our family? What makes you think that you can inherit the house?
I'm the only son in the family, and I thought I would be in charge of looking after our parents when they get older.
I'll take care of them, just like I've been doing till now. You've done nothing for them. What can you do now? They're not looking for a caregiver. They just want their money back more than anything.
Mom and Dad are not replying to my texts and phone calls.
They decided not to take any more contact with you now that they left the old house. Oh, but be sure to pay back the $50,000, okay? We have the IOU.
Hey, Lena, we really need help.
I bet.
We don't have enough money to move into somewhere new. Jennifer fell sick from the shock of you leaving us.
Not my business. It's your fault for depending on us too much. I heard you quit your job when you moved in. Mom had been telling you to find a new job, and you were the one who ignored her.
I couldn't find a good job.
Are you in the position to choose jobs? Just get any job. There's still several weeks until the house is pulled down. You can start by getting a part-time job.
A part-time job won't be enough. We'll only be able to make a few $100s.
You never know until you actually try. You also didn't bring much stuff when you moved in, so I think you can save some moving expenses.
Moving requires money. There's rental fees and much more to worry about.
If you're worried about money, you can always start by renting a short-stay apartment.
Lena, look, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry that I tried kicking you out, and I'm sorry for everything that we did.
You think I'll forgive you with a simple apology?
Please, Lena, let us live with you for a few months.
Nope, never. You never kept your promises. I bet you'll stay forever if I let you live in my house.
I promise, Lena, believe me.
If only you had started paying back Mom and Dad. It would have made you sound more promising. Considering all the trouble you've caused to our family, I don't think I can ever believe in you.
Okay, I won't ask you to let us live with you then, but at least tell us where you moved to.
I know what you're trying to do. You're planning to move in with us.
Why would I do that? Come on, Lena. Believe your brother.
Why do I have to tell you so many times? I told you that I can't believe in you anymore.
Why? Can't you be nicer to your dear brother? A little help won't hurt.
You could have been a better brother too, Noah. Remember all the trouble you caused your sister? We had to sell the house because of you, and you always stole money from our house. Do you know how hard Mom had to work to save all that money? She was saving her pay from her part-time job so that she could travel with Dad.
I'm sorry. I regret everything I did to Mom and Dad.
If so, why aren't you paying them back? I never thought of you as my brother. I'll tell you their bank account so that you know where to send them the money. If you regret what you did, start paying them back even if it might take some time.
I can't start paying them back if my basic living needs aren't being fulfilled. I don't even have a house.
Didn't I tell you, Noah? Stop depending too much on Mom and Dad. It's your fault that you lost our trust. There's nowhere you can go home to and no one you can depend on. You're no longer part of our family. You're just a debtor. Apparently, Noah and his wife left the house just before the old house was pulled down. However, he ended up borrowing more money to support his living expenses, so he hasn't even started paying back my parents. My parents have given up on getting back the $50,000 they lent him, and are now trying to use up all their savings so that there would be nothing left for my brother to inherit. I support my parents' decision because I don't want my brother to inherit anything either. My brother texted me the other day saying that he really needs to pay back his debts as soon as possible, so I finally decided to block him from my contacts. I don't want to be involved in any of his business. I no longer know what my brother and his wife are going through, but I've decided not to get in contact with him ever again. He deserves to be chased after his debt collectors. I'm currently enjoying a relaxed life with my parents after moving into our new house. Our new house has great security, so we no longer have to be afraid of robbers like my brother stealing money from us. I initially thought of paying back my parents on behalf of my brother, but my parents never asked for my help. They even offered to rent their own apartment when we decided to pull down our old house. They thought they might be a nuisance if they move into my new house. I can never forgive my brother who betrayed my kind parents, and I love my parents who are always considerate of me from the bottom of my heart. I want to become a daughter they can be proud of so that they can heal from what my brother did to them.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Good morning, Lucy. Is now a good time to talk? Hey, Betty. Good morning. Sure thing. What's up? It's about Frank. Has he been busy lately or something? I wouldn't say so. He's home from work at the same time as always. Is he tired then? Not really. He just seems like his same old self to me. Why do you ask? Lucy, you are keeping my son satisfied by fulfilling your womanly duties to him, aren't you? You know, in the bedroom. Well, we do sleep in the same bed. In that case, Why haven't you given me any grandchildren yet? You've been married for an entire year already. What are you waiting for, the second coming of Christ? Wait, you're not infertile, are you? Listen, Betty, I know you're my mom-in-law, but this is ultimately mine and Frank's decision. It's not that we don't want kids one day, but we're going at our own pace, and we'll get there when we're ready. We'd really like it if you could be a little more patient. I've been doing nothing but being patient with you. My cousin Nora got married after you two, but she already gave birth to twins. And you know Graham from across the street? His daughter gave birth last week. Why does everyone seem to be having babies except you and my son? I'm the only one in my friend group without any grandkids, and the embarrassment is killing me. I guess we just haven't been blessed with any yet. You'll never be blessed if you don't do the deed. Goodness me, Lucy, didn't you learn how this works in school? Do I seriously have to spell it out? I wait, and I wait, and I wait, but the news never comes. And I hate to have to bring this up, but I feel I have no choice. You've been getting fatter and fatter ever since you and my son got married. Don't you think your blubbery rolls might have something to do with him not wanting to go near you anymore? This is a very delicate issue. And I understand how you feel, Betty. Really, I do. We are thinking about it, we just haven't made our minds up yet. We'd really appreciate if you could give us some more time. I know it's delicate, dear. Do you think I enjoy talking about this? The reason I brought it up is precisely because I have been waiting, but you've made no progress. Be honest, are you infertile? How is it possible that you can't be pregnant after an entire year of marriage? There must be something going on. I get checked at my gynecologist every year. He says everything's in working order. I wonder, could it really be? I just can't believe you haven't given me any grandchildren yet. Me and Frank would love to have kids one day. Believe me, Betty. It's something we've always talked about. But it's also not a decision to be taken lightly. So with all due respect, please understand that and let us decide at our own pace. Would it really kill you to say, okay, we'll do our best? You can see how worried I am. Put an old dear's mind at rest, why don't ya? Of course we plan on doing our best. Plan on? Pfft. Don't forget your position in this family, young lady. You're a stay-at-home housewife. I work part-time. What as? A part-time stay-at-home housewife? I can't think of a better way to describe you, actually. How is it that you hardly ever have to work, and yet you still can't even fulfill your basic responsibilities as a woman? Back in my day, women got divorced on the spot if they showed any resistance to being a mother. The world's gone to the dogs, I tell ya. It's time you knew your place, young lady. Understood. Don't worry, I'll be passing the message on to my son. I'll have you eating for two before you know what's hit you. What's a baker without any buns in the oven? Get to work. Hey, Betty. The peaches just arrived. Thanks a bunch. I'm glad to hear they made it safely. I went out of my way to have them sent over from the most respected peach farmer in America. They cost more than $10 each. Wow, these are some luxurious peaches. I didn't even know they got that expensive. We're really grateful. Thank you. Frank loves peaches. He'll be over the moon when he sees them. Make sure you eat your fill, too. I'm looking forward to hearing all about what you think of them. Betty, I'm really sorry, but I'm allergic to peaches. Always have been. I can't eat these. Uh-huh. Really, I didn't know that. Yep. But that doesn't mean I'm any less grateful. It really means a lot that you went out of your way to send us something so special. Frank can have my half, and I just know he's gonna love them. But they really are the most exquisite peaches you'll ever have the privilege of eating. Would it really hurt you to try one? Go on, just take a teeny weeny little bite. Sorry, but I really can't. My allergy is pretty severe. Even just one bite would have me break out in rashes all over my body. Don't be silly, that's probably only from eating cheap, low-quality peaches. There's no way you've eaten anything this high quality before. Luxury could never be bad for you. Go on, just take a little bite. Anyway, even if you did have a reaction, what's the harm in a little rash? I bet you've never collapsed or gone into shock, have you? Well, I've never had anything that extreme, but aside from the hive-like rashes that break out all over my body, I also get super itchy. I haven't had an outbreak since I was a kid, but they're so uncomfortable. I remember the feeling like it was yesterday. Oh, stop being such a drama queen, you'll be fine. You're missing out on the chance of a lifetime if you don't try one. They're the sweetest, most succulent, most exquisite peaches you'll ever sink your teeth into. You absolutely have to try them. I appreciate the sentiment, but I'm sorry, I just can't. The thought alone scares me. I'm gonna have to pass. I see how it is. It's very clear how much I want you to try one, but you're dead set on refusing me, aren't you? To think you won't even take a little bite. You know, Lucy, it's considered good manners to eat things given to you by your superiors, even if they're things you don't like. They say your boss came into work with some cakes she made. I bet you'd eat one even if you didn't really like the look of them out of politeness, wouldn't you? Which only makes your refusal of my supreme kindness and boundless generosity even more despicable. I am your mother-in-law, young lady. This isn't about me not liking peaches. It's about me being severely allergic and coming out in whole body rashes when I eat them. That said, no, I wouldn't. I'm not gonna eat something I don't want to eat just because the person who gave me it happens to be above me on the social ladder, professionally or otherwise. You have an answer for everything, don't you? You think you're so clever. Is defying me a hobby of yours? Are you going out of your way to annoy me as much as possible? No, I'm really not. Oh, and that's not all. I have a bone to pick with you, young lady. My son told me off for what I said to you about getting pregnant. He told me I had no right to say any of that to you. I bet you were straight off filling his head with lies, painting me as some domineering authoritarian. All I was doing was trying to provide some gentle encouragement because you two are clearly not capable of delivering the goods yourselves. I just told him what you said to me. You didn't have to go and do that. The idea was that you were supposed to do what needed to be done to get his juices flowing so he'd be in the mood to make babies, you simpleton. Why did my son have to marry the most thick-headed woman on the planet? You should know that all of our relatives will be at my uncle's wake next week. The thought of inviting such a tactless dullard to such an important family event is so terrifying it keeps me awake at night. I keep having these premonitions where you put your foot in the most awkward, embarrassing way and make me look like a fool in front of the whole family. Don't worry, I'll be careful not to cause you any problems. I hope that's true. Forget it, I'm wasting my breath. It's obvious by now that everything I say to you goes in one ear and straight out the other. Just see to it that you don't do anything that affects my stellar reputation in this family, or there'll be hell to pay.
Lucy, what's going on? Why would you go home all of a sudden when my mom's in such a bad way?
Because your mom collapsed.
What kind of reason is that? Wait, is this because she said all those things to you recently? Look, I guess she can come across as too direct and lack delicacy sometimes. But surely you can see how going home when everyone's running around in a panic trying to get her help is crossing the line?
Are you at the hospital now?
Yeah, she's receiving treatment as we speak. They still don't know what caused it, though.
It was all her fault.
Huh? What? Are you seriously saying it's my mom's own fault she collapsed? How can you say that with such confidence? No way. This doesn't add up. What did you do that made my mom start foaming at the mouth and collapse all of a sudden? She was unconscious, goddammit!
I didn't do anything. She drank the coffee that was intended for me. There must have been washing detergent or something else not meant for human consumption in it.
What?
That coffee was meant as a malicious prank to embarrass me in front of the entire family. I noticed the weirdest smell just as I went to drink it. So I swapped it for her coffee while she wasn't looking. That's when she started foaming at the mouth and collapsed, right? I'm well within my rights to be pissed off when someone tries to poison me, Frank. I'm lucky I noticed it before she got her way. Because it would have been me lying in that hospital bed if she did.
Is this for real?
Yes, I can prove it. So I know there's a chance you won't believe me. But that coffee was originally meant for me.
I'm sorry. Damn it! What the hell does my mom think she's doing? She's the worst!
It's okay, sweetie. I'm sorry for hightailing it out of the house without explaining what happened. I should have spoken to you, but I was so mad I could barely contain myself. But I've been putting up with her harassment for so long now. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. I can't forgive her this time.
When you say harassment, do you mean stuff other than pestering you about grandkids?
Remember that box of peaches she sent us the other day?
Yeah, you couldn't eat them because you're allergic, right?
Here's the thing. Your mom knows full well I'm allergic to peaches. I remember telling her about it after we just got married. Now I might be able to entertain the idea she'd forgotten about it, if she hadn't seemed super curious and kept asking me all sorts of questions about how bad it was back then.
Wow, seriously? Still though, it was over a year ago. Don't you think there's even a small chance she forgot?
Maybe, just maybe I would if this was the first time she'd done it. But a few months back, she sent us that box of souvenirs full of candy with peach extract in it. I don't know exactly which part of the peach it is that gives me the reaction, so I play it safe by avoiding all of it. But it seems like she's sending everything she possibly can to try and make me have a flare-up. I told her back then I can't eat stuff with peach in it, so it's impossible for me to believe it's a coincidence.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry, Lucy. I should never have gone through any of this. I had no idea at all. To think this was going on under my nose this whole time. Gah!
Don't apologize, Frank. I'm at fault here too. I should have told you. It's just that I didn't want to rock the boat with her being your mom and all, so I figured it'd be best to keep my head down. I know that was stupid now. Keeping it all bottled up inside did nothing but stress me out. I'm sorry to say this, but there's no hope of me ever getting on with your mom. Me and her are done.
Don't apologize, babe. But my mom's the one in the wrong here. She should have never treated you like she did. I'm amazed you managed to tolerate her for so long. I mean, Jesus! She even went as far as trying to poison you. Who knows what could have happened if that went wrong? You could have died for all she knew. Who the hell puts washing detergent in someone's coffee? She deserves everything that happens to her.
Thank you so much for believing me, Frank. But what should I do? It just dawned on me that she might try saying it was me who put the washing detergent in her drink.
Don't worry about that. I'm gonna have the coffee pot tested by a professional. I'll also let the rest of the family know what's going on in advance, so no one believes her lies if she starts pointing the finger. I'm so sorry I doubted you, babe, even if it was just for a second. You don't have a thing to worry about now, because I got your back. I'm gonna protect you no matter what.
Lucy, are you there? It'll finally be time for me to leave the hospital tomorrow. But you haven't been to visit me a single time. My son's just as bad. He's ignoring all my messages for some reason. Care to explain yourselves? Hey, Betty, I decided I want nothing more to do with you. Frank feels the same way. That's why I need you to refrain from messaging me like this from now on. Thanks. What are you talking about? You really are a floundering disappointment of a daughter-in-law. How can you both be so cold towards me at a time like this? I'm weak enough as it is without my own family turning against me. Where's my sympathy? Sympathy for what? It's your fault you collapsed in the first place. What on earth could possibly make you say that? I've never heard anything so ridiculous. The doctors told me why I collapsed. They said it was because there was a foreign substance in my coffee. So please think before you open your mouth, darling. You'll only keep embarrassing yourself if you don't. I'll never be able to acknowledge you as my son's wife if you keep acting like such a moron. I tell you what, why don't you just do us all a favor and divorce him right now?
Give it a break, Mom!
It's
Frank. I'm with Lucy. I saw all your messages.
Frank, why haven't you been replying to me lately? I'm so lonely.
You should be grateful I even brought your purse and insurance card to the hospital.
Frank, please. Why is Lucy always so cold towards me? This has been her attitude ever since you two got married. I think she might be infertile, too. Don't you think it's time you started thinking seriously about your future, sweetie? You're still young. There's still time for you to find someone else.
But I don't want anyone else. I made a lifetime vow to Lucy when we got married, and I'm sticking to it. Nothing you say will change that.
Good grief. Why won't you use some sense, boy?
Where's the sense? Go on, I'm listening. Where's the sense in trying to poison my wife with washing detergent?
Excuse me?
The doctors told you they found a foreign substance in your body, right?
Yes.
I had the contents of the coffee pot sent off to a lab. The results came in, and I have a list of the chemicals I found inside it. They were 100% matched with the washing detergent in your kitchen cupboard. You were the one who poured everyone's coffee, right? I know you tried to make Lucy drink it.
No, you're wrong. Yes, maybe it was me who poured the coffee, but I'm pretty sure it was Lucy who have brewed it in the pot beforehand. Lucy did this. Think about it, son. I'm the one lying in a hospital bed here. Why would I poison myself? I know it might be hard to accept, but your wife is the only person who could be behind this.
I asked all of our relatives who came to the wake, and luckily there were several witnesses. When Lucy got up to go and brew the coffee, you stopped her and insisted you'd do it instead.
Really? I'm certain that's not how it happened. Are you sure these witnesses of yours don't just have bad memories?
You kept forcing Lucy to do chores that day, didn't you? She was visibly exhausted, but you just demanded more of her. One of our relatives felt bad for her and offered to help. but you told him to sit down and relax because Lucy would be taking care of everything around the house for the day. That's why they thought it was weird when you made an exception to go out of your way to stop her brewing the coffee and insisted on doing it yourself. You should know that there were several witnesses.
Even if, for argument's sake, all that were true, why would I poison myself by drinking my own washing detergent-laced coffee? I collapsed while foaming at the mouth, for crying out loud.
That's because Lucy noticed you're up to something and swapped your cups while you weren't looking.
She did what?
Still, she wouldn't have guessed in a million years you're trying to poison her with freaking washing detergent. No matter how you look at it, this is 100% your fault, and you got what you deserved. I don't think you need me to tell you how dangerous what you did was after you collapsed and got put in hospital. But you don't know how Lucy would have reacted to that stuff. You could have killed my wife for all you knew. We'll be well within our rights to report you to the cops.
Frank, please hold on a second. Hear me out, okay? I only wanted to give her a little fright, that was all.
You finally admitted then.
I'm sorry.
That's not me you should be apologizing to. Besides, no amount of apologizing will take back what you did. We'll never forgive you for as long as we live.
Please, darling, I said I'm sorry. I never thought it would turn into such a big drama. What else was I supposed to do? That girl never listens to a word I say. I was just trying to instill some discipline in her is all.
Just be quiet. There's no excuse for what you did. You disgust me. I never want to see you again. I'm grateful for you raising me, but you need to leave us alone from now on. You can keep my inheritance. I don't want it.
Frank, please wait. I'm begging you, please forgive me. I'm so sorry. I was full of regret over what I did when I woke up in this hospital bed. Frank's driving now. He can't reply anymore. Lucy? Driving? Are you outside? Yep. We just went to collect the results on the coffee pot contents from the lab. Do you think maybe there's a chance you could come and see me at the hospital on your way back? I want to apologize to you in person. Please stop saying you never want to see me again. You have no idea how much it hurts. We wouldn't come to the hospital if you paid us. Lucy, please. I'm so sorry. I mean it. I've never been this sorry about anything in my life. I've always known you don't like me. You did nothing but send us food you know I can't eat ever since we got married. You say the nastiest, most hurtful things to me when Frank's not around. Anyone else would have probably ended the relationship then and there. But for some reason, I thought it was possible for us to get along somehow. And I thought that if I just stuck at it, things would work out in the end. My Frank's been spending all his time with you ever since you got married. You stole my son away from me. I've been so lonely. The only reason I urged you to have children so passionately was because being surrounded by so many happy families made me feel so acutely aware of how the clock's always ticking. And I didn't want you to wait until it was too late. But I realize that was wrong now. I'll never overstep my bounds again. I'll acknowledge you as my daughter-in-law. I'd rather you didn't. We're breaking off all ties with you. No, please. Don't even say things like that. I'm so sorry. If you were really sorry, you wouldn't be pestering us to come and visit you in the hospital. The only reason you were being so cocky was because you had no idea we knew about your little washing detergent stunt. We can't associate with someone who thinks like you. You're dangerous. Lucy, please, will you find it in your heart to forgive me? I'm ready to turn over a new leaf. I'll be extra kind to you from now on. Oh, that's funny. I could have sworn you were just telling Frank to dump me and find someone else. Let's face it, Betty. This conversation is pointless. How about you do the human race a favor by crawling under a rock, where you can never bother anyone again? We never saw Betty again after that. But not knowing when to give up, she tried spreading lies about me being the culprit behind her poisoning amongst the family when she got discharged from the hospital. Thankfully, since Frank saw it coming and prepared them all in advance, it backfired miserably and she became the target of a torrent of ruthless criticism. She became completely alienated, and now she's living out her retirement in loneliness and isolation. Between the shock of being disowned by her beloved son and her entire family finding out that she tried poisoning me with washing detergent, her spirit was broken, and she stopped leaving the house almost entirely. She was cited by a neighbor who also happens to be my friend lately. Apparently, she looked like she'd aged about 10 years since she last saw her. And she looked so run down and worn out by life that my friend wasn't even sure it was her at first. Even still, I don't feel an ounce of sympathy for her. She really did deserve everything that happened to her. We moved far, far away just to make extra sure we'd never see the mother-in-law from hell again. And we're currently enjoying life in the new house we bought. Half a year after she collapsed, I finally fell pregnant, and now we're making preparations for our son to be born. We didn't tell her back when she was sticking her nose in because we didn't feel like it was her business. But the truth is, we've been trying for a baby for a very long time, and we're overjoyed now we finally have one on the way. I just know that if she was still in our lives, I'd never hear the end of the correct way to be pregnant or the correct way to raise a baby boy. It wasn't plain sailing, and we rode out our fair share of rough seas to get here. But after cutting all ties with Betty, we've never been happier. My priority now is building a happy household full of love and warmth with my amazing, supportive husband and the baby boy we've got on the way. I can't wait to see what the future brings.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.